And hello and welcome back to Charged, twitch.tv/ChargedSimRacing. Here we are for another weekly race, our first one since the 4 Hours of Magello Charged's first ever endurance race last week, which was a spectacular race if I don't say so myself. Anyway, we are here, back again. It's also the 1 year anniversary of Charge. Bow, 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 bow. It was the 1st of April last year that the first messages were ever sent on the Charge Discord, and I think it was the 4th of April, no, it would have been the 3rd, where the first ever race took place, which was the 2 Hours of Daytona, the first ever race we did. Anyway, it's me, your boy, the Flat Earth Mom, the Flat Daddy Flat Gang, aka James, here to host the stream for you tonight. We have, of course, 4 races of weekly action. We have 2 splits. Our open split, which is for newer and less experienced drivers, and coming after that we have the license split, which is all your favourite Charge drivers, the best and brightest, some of the best drivers in ACO driving this week. We have some absolute tip-top drivers who are making some special appearances today, so... And also with this low-powered open wheeler, a fair bit of downforce, lots of close racing, slipstreaming. There's going to be a heck of super close and fun racing today. I think we have Loey and Jens turning up later for the license split. We have Adrian making a rare appearance as well, and he's super quick this week. We have Zyfe also super on the pace. Dario, so many really good drivers. Patrese, Stefan, DK Senior. It's going to be an absolute corker today. So currently we are just in free practice for the open split. We currently have 16 drivers in the lobby. We should have, as I've just seen Alfredo punt Cosmic off the track. We should have a few more turning up. There was a little bit of confusion this week over the sign-up spot, and also some time zones drama. Of course, Europe switching to daylight savings time this week, so it's a little bit confusing for a few people, so we should get a few more before the race starts. We are expecting about 25 drivers in each split this week, so plenty of crashing and plenty of action, because it is the Tatuus. Anyway, we are here at the fantastic Mosport circuit, or Mosport if you're a Canadian, in Canada. I don't know whereabouts in Canada it is, who cares? And this was the site of one of the most legendary first ever Charged events, which was the exact same combo, which I think was the 4th race we ever did last year. And boy, was it fun. A whole lot of really great qualifying action, some great wheel-to-wheel racing, tons of fun. I'm just going to turn my game audio up a little bit because it's very quiet. Anyone in chat could just let me know if you can hear the game audio. I can work it out. Hi, Nuji, are you racing today? Go jump in the car if you want. Hope you're racing today too, Jim. Of course, we have Will. Yeah, Phil C, got to watch out. Although I have to say, DDX Shadow and Jikuzek currently looking really good in the free practice. I know Phil C has been doing a Herculean amount of practice this week. He, by his own admission, did about 3,000 kilometers, which is almost nearing on my kind of territory for over-practicing for weeklies. So Phil C is one to watch out for today, as is Jikuzek, who of course had a good run in the Magello 4 Hours last week. So a lot of these drivers are going to really have worked up a lot of experience, like Driptex, Kartoska, Fox. These guys who all ran in the Magello 4 Hours, they learned a lot that week. So definitely want to see some real good performances today from Open Split. Of course, I made some updates to how my game looks today. I hope it's looking good. I hope it's not choppy. Let me see, I'm going to have a quick look at the stream. Hopefully it doesn't look like a PowerPoint presentation. I did do some upgrades on my visual effects and my post-processing filters and a couple apps to try and get a really good looking stream. So game sound is there, but it's a touch quiet. Thank you, Ramos. I will just pop that bad boy up. Let's put a little bit of gain on that. So I put about another 7 dB on that, so it should be nice now. But of course, I like to keep it in the green. I ain't that kind of guy that goes into the red all the time. Mate, do you even compress? Anyway. DK, hello! DK will be making his first appearance for a couple weeks in the license split tonight, and it's going to be super top racing. As I said, we've got Loey, we've got Jens, we've got DK, we've got so many good drivers. It's going to be really, really, really close up in the top split today. Jim says it sounds perfect. Thank you very much. So who else do we have currently racing in the open split? We have DDX Shadow and Phil C both looking really good in first and second. Jikuzek also with a nice impressive time. Kartoska not too far behind, followed by Driptex and Fox. We have Mako, Darwell, Cosmic. I'm going to attempt to pronounce this driver's name. Let me see. Zibuchu is what I'm going to call it, or Zibuchu. Please correct me if that's wrong. It probably is. We have Cosmic, Alfredo. Goomy93, Buzz making his first appearance for a few weeks, welcome back Buzz. We have DK Senior driving for his first time in a few weeks too, welcome back DK Senior. We have Kondek, Shiny Waffles, and then you've got me and Pikaroshu in the pits, and Every Stone, although the autocam keeps changing so I can't see what's going on. Anyway, as Kondek is just having a little spinala there, let's have a quick look at some liveries. Nice looking spec liveries this week made by Ramos, who is his first contribution to making spec liveries for Charge. And I really like this. I think it looks super funky. I love the color gradient and this nice black livery with some shades of green in it, and the swoops are really, really nice. So thanks to Ramos for making the spec liveries. They look lovely. We got some good stuff to see on Livery Watch this week. So DDX Shadow has somehow submitted a unbranded, like one of the regular default game skins. I don't know how that got through. Phil C is running a ooh, this one's quite funky. I like this one. I'm guessing this is his own creation, but it does look quite similar to the spec livery, though his charged on the rear wing is upside down, so point off for that one, Phil. But yeah, nice effort. Alfredo's running a spec skin. Oh no, he isn't. No, he's running his own. And I did notice last week the Brum Brum car in Magello had a really, really nice livery, so definitely on with that theme today. There's some nice lines, and again, nice gentle colours. Looking very nice. I like that one very much. We have Jikuzek running the Renault skin today, looking very tidy. That's kind of a 2010 era Renault skin, I would say, which still got the Total stickers on it, but yeah, looking funky. We have Kartoshka running the 1995 Ferrari, I believe that is. Or I think it might be the 1994 Ferrari, because it doesn't have the gold rims. I wonder where Ren is doing the Twitch betting for today. But yeah, that's a nice looking. Although that's a very race department livery. I know that was downloaded. Same with Driptex with. You know what? I like the Prosts, but this is not my favourite Prost skin. The best Prost skin was where was it? The best Prost skin was the 1999 Prost skin. This was a bit later when they started getting desperate for money and they put some ugly stickers on it. But yeah, I do always like the Prost skins, though, I have to say. We have Cosmic with their own skin this week, looking very funky with the Speed Punters logo. Some misspelled branding, which I like, and the Charged logo. Top marks are inventive there. We've got Goomy running a spec skin. Oh, that pink one is very dashing. I like that very much. Buzz! See, I've got a special affinity for Buzz right now, who's just come back to the pits. Because last year I ran my own version of this skin, the Jaguar. Although my one was the Jaguar 01, I believe, the 2000 Jaguar, and this one looks to me more like a 2003, 2004 Jaguar, which it isn't my favourite. The original 2000s Jaguar was whew, but yeah, nice effort from Buzz, and as I see, you are a man of culture too. Where were we? Because the order's been changed. Shiny Waffles. Oh, this is without a doubt the best livery this week. This is absolutely stunning. Fantastic work from Shiny Waffles. This is beautiful livery. I love the colours, I love the little blossoms, the lines are immaculate. This is a gorgeous livery. I'm really, really into this one. Shiny Waffles, take a screenshot. You know what? I will. They'll see you've already covered here. We have Zabuchu, the pink livery, which I really like. Every Stone running spec. Mako running spec. Kondek running spec. Darwell running spec. DK Senior running spec. Fox with the classic Fox livery with its asymmetry and Toyota Gazoo Racing sponsors, although he has put the wheel blur texture wrong because it just looks like he's got a frisbee for a wheel. But other than that, nice livery from Fox as always. Fox's liveries are always good. We've already covered Buzz. Is there anyone else that we've missed? I think we've got everyone. Let's have a little final scan for livery check as qualifying does get underway. As Goomy's had a little bit of a spinala. And that's everyone. So right, let's put an autocam back on and get back to the show. So currently we have Kartoshka sitting in provisional pole, but of course that's just an outlap. So the laps are still to come. Yeah, Ren, where are the bets? We want bets. We want illegal gambling. Also, is the frame rate choppy for the stream, or is it just me? I'm not getting any drop frames. It looks a bit like a PowerPoint presentation right now. I can remedy that if it becomes a problem. Ren says he needs to do coursework. Well, you know, you're allowed a little bit of sim racing. So let's see, who are the first drivers to get laps across? We have Kartoshka currently almost 7 seconds up on his first lap. So that's going to be a 17 when Kartoshka comes across the line, which is 16.3. That's a pretty good lap actually. That's probably going to be looking quite good for the front for him. I know in the license split we've seen some mad lads getting down to 15.2, so it's going to be ultra competitive later on. I think for open split, anything in the low 16s is going to be putting you near the front, as Jikuzek is a second slower, Shiny Waffles and Cosmic also a couple seconds off the the front-running pace from Kartoska, but of course, there's 16 minutes of qualifying left to go. As we now have Diego Domingo has joined. I've heard a lot of very exciting things about him. I can't remember who it was, but I think it was Stefan was saying earlier on today that he was very quick, so definitely look out for Diego. I know he races in a set of friends. I think it's his first time racing in charge, so anyone with some experience is definitely going to fly this week, so looking forward to it. We have Alfredo as well, who I believe it's his first appearance in the Charge Weekly, so looking forward to seeing Alfredo tear it up today. As Kartoska is looking to improve, he's almost a 10th up coming through the final sector. Let's see what he can do. Still waiting to see if Phil C can get a good lap out. His best lap is 22 seconds off, so I'm guessing he's not got a clean lap yet as Fox moves into P6, but oh! Kartoska just ruins it running wide in the final corner. Luckily, he's got plenty of time to go round again. Shout out to the 41 viewers on Twitch watching, twitch.tv/ChargedSimRacing. Of course, check out discord.me/charged for the best set, of course, of community going. We got weekly races, championships, enduros, weekly hot lap challenge. We got Minecraft, we got War Thunder, we got friends, we got fun, we got messing around in the voice chat every day. It's a awesome, loving, fun, super friendly community where it doesn't matter what your ability of racing is, whether you're an absolute god like Lowy and Jens or you're just getting started, you will find a place where you can race competitively and have fun. Everyone's super helpful, we're all nice to each other, we all help each other out. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on every single day, so definitely smash that sub button if you haven't already, smash that follow button, smash that 5 stars and thumbs up. Bruh. But yeah, definitely join the Discord if you are not a member already, and we'd love to have you come race with us. Fox is looking to find some time right now. Down in Sector 2 though, so he's got to pull a little bit out if he wants to climb up the grid. There is quite a spread this week between the front runners and the rear runners. I think some of the quick setups have been disseminated, but not all the way. The Fox is secure in 6th place for now. Phil C has finally got a lap in, but he is a bit of a way off Kartoska. He's 7/10ths off, so Phil's going to have to really dig deep and find that a perfect lap if he wants to get up there. But as I say that, Diego Domingo, straight off the bat with a very competitive lap time, only 0.6 tenths off Kartoska, so that's going to be a great battle for these two between the rest of qualifying, as Alfredo also moves into the 16s. I tell you what, it's nice having autocam on in qualifying. I'm not sure if I'll use it for the whole race, because finding people to watch in qualifying is always a bit fiddly as Driptex comes round, hoping to start a spicy lap, and DDX Shadow also getting ready to go for another one, just finishing his last lap. But yeah, I look really forward to seeing Diego. I know he said he couldn't quite resist the combo. I mean, everyone loves crappy open wheelers at a high-speed circuit with one braking zone. Naughty, I think all the people who are setting fast times are running Lowy setup, and the people in the 18s and 19s are not. Oh, as Fox has a big moment going over the curb, that will also not be an improvement for him. Oh, he stopped right in the middle of the racetrack though, but luckily he pulled out in time, but I think unfortunately that would have compromised Buzz's lap. That's a real shame. That might have ruined Buzz's lap there, but at least Fox was quick on that escape button. As Diego Domingo was just about to set a purple lap, but he ran. Oh no, was that valid? That must have been. I thought Diego was well off the track there. That would have invalidated his lap. Maybe the camera was just switching, but Diego takes pole position with a beautiful purple lap and 3/10 clear of Kartoska. So, whew, I think license for Diego might be coming up very, very soon if he keeps this up. And the battle for the top 3 is super, super close. We have Kartoska and Alfredo, almost within half a second of Diego. DDX Shadow and Phil C also very, very close. Driptex not far off, and Buzz snapping at the heels of the top 6 as well. So anything could be happening. What's up, the Beardy? How can you play in events? You can join events by joining our Discord, discord.me/charged. We have weekly races every week that are open, anyone can join. We have a license split for the more experienced and faster drivers who can race kind of competitively towards themselves, and we have an open split which is open for everyone, so anyone can join regardless of ability or experience. If you join, we're going to help you out with setups, help you with practice. We have people on the server practicing every day, hanging out in the voice chat, shooting the sh and having fun. So definitely join up. We'd love to have you. But yeah, we do have events like endurance races and championships that are like a closed entry, but for weekly races, anyone can join. Cosmic is looking to improve and get himself up the grid. Just looking to get up on 15th and 14th with Shiny Waffles and Kondak. What can Cosmic do? It's an improvement, putting Cosmic up to 14th. Still got some time to find though. There's a lot of time left on that table for these Tatuuses with 11 minutes of qualifying to go. DDX Shadow looking purple in the second sector, but just loses it in the last sector, and that's a real shame because that could have made the battle for pole position super close. We now have 3 drivers within a third of a second of P1, so whew, anything could happen. Now Jikusek is just looking to start another lap, try and get himself further up the top 10. Jikusek was looking good in practice. Oh, as I say that, he's now taken 6th place. My delta time wasn't working, so that's a nice, solid position for Jikusek right now. But again, a little bit of time. Oh, and Kartoska's had an off, and he's gone back to the pits, so that's another aborted lap for him. Luckily in qualifying, you can just go back to the pits and go back out again. Alfredo seems to have stopped in the pit lane. Maybe Kartoska's giving him a little push there. Everyone's stopping in the pit lane. I'm not quite sure what's happening, as DDX Shadow has also stopped in the pit lane. Please don't do that. Jikusek is also off and going back to the pits. Oh, and Diego is now into the 15, so whoa, he's looking spicy this week. I'll tell you what, if Diego's wheel-to-wheel skills are anywhere near as good as his lap times, this is going to be a new star in charge, I think. Very impressive so far. Phil C looking to find some time. He managed to make up a little bit of time in Sector 2. What can he do as Phil C goes 4th? Nice time from him, moving ever closer to pole position. Still got a little bit of a way to go. He's given himself a bit of a buffer to Alfredo, but Phil needs to find just a smidge more time to attack the top 3. How is the stream looking for everyone? Is it looking smooth or is it a little bit choppy? Because I might, in between sessions, just go turn some of my settings down. It's a bit choppy, okay. When the race starts and all the cars are together, it's not going to be good, so I'm going to just turn some of my settings down a little bit. Let me have a look at my my rendering stats are pretty smooth. Hang on. I'm getting 60 FPS in the game, but I think it's just throughout the stream, because of course it's all going through my CPU, and AC running on one core tends to throttle your CPU a little bit, so and of course streaming in a HD 60 FPS is also a little bit stringent, so I might just go and turn some game settings down a little bit. As DK's cheering on his dad, saying, "Dad, it's hammer time." DK Senior is currently sitting in 10th place, and it is super tight in that pack. If he improved by, you know, a 10th and a half, that's going to put him up a good 4 places. So, come on, DK Senior, let's pull the lead out. And of course we do have charge staff member Pikaroshi being a semi-formal race control again this week. He's sitting in the voice chat with the drivers, and he is also in his own car watching the race and keeping an eye on everyone. So he's going to be there just helping drivers out and letting them know if they have a spin or anything to rejoin nice and safely, as Ariti has joined. Luckily there's 8 minutes left of qualifying, so Ariti's got time to get back out there. I saw Kartoska on a very good lap there. I'm not sure what happened to him. Let's go have a look and see. As Kartoska's coming through Sector 3, it's not an improvement. Very good Sector 2, but Kartoska's just got a little bit of time to make up. DK's gonna smurf. He's gonna go tell his dad to get off the wheel. That would be quite fun. Maybe he can do the pedals and you can do the steering. That I'd love to see. I'll tell you what, I saw a video the other day of two like world-class speedrunners at the game Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, playing the game blindfolded, sharing one controller. One guy was doing the D-pad, one guy was doing the buttons, and they beat the game flawlessly without a single knockdown. And I was like, oh my god, that was just mad. I'd love to see 2 drivers, one doing the wheels, one doing the pedals. That would be absolutely entertaining to watch. DK Senior is only 3/10 off through the first sector, considering he's 1.6 seconds down. That's pretty good. Of course, Diego Domingo is really in a class of his own today. He's now setting a 1:15.8. This definitely looks like a good debut from him. He can pull away with the race. Of course, we have the reverse grid race following the main race, which is where fast drivers get put to the test, because fast drivers aren't always clean drivers. So if Diego runs away with the first race, he really will have all the work to do in race 2, working his way through the grid and trying to catch the slower drivers. It's amazing how some drivers just run away in the first race, and sometimes they really, really struggle in the reverse grid. So it just goes to show that, you know, it's all about being fast, but also being clean and smooth and patient and decisive. As Cosmic is now up to 11th place, that's been a nice progression from him. Although he bins it into turn 1, obviously after his lap is done. DK Senior still on the hunt for some lap time. I'm pretty sure he can take a 9th place if he just finds a 10th, and he's definitely up a little bit from his previous lap. Kartoska also going very close to pole position. Oh, but as I say that, he's just bled a 10.5 through Sector 2, so a little bit of work for Kartoska if he wants to get that pole. But an improvement would give him a nice buffer from DDX Shadow and Phil C if they were to improve. There's Ben Hayes in chat. Shout out Ben Hayes, nice to see you. Yeah, of course, Diego making his debut in charge today, looking very good in the open split. Oh, hi Diego, there he is in chat. Very nice lap. Looking forward to seeing you in the race. Of course, we do have our license split coming up after the 2 races of the open split, where you get to see all the charge names you know and love. DK Senior improves a really, really good time of 1:16.9 going into 7th place. I'm not sure that wasn't DK just taking over and doing the lap for him. But either way, nice time from DK Senior. That's put him up into a really, really good spot. And if he can find a 10th or 2 with 5 minutes to go, he could move even higher, possibly even bothering the top 5. As Kartoska's had another off, I think he's just pushing so hard trying to find time. So he's still got time to go around again. As Gumi is also having some trouble. He looks to be in the gravel. I'm sure he's just taking his time rejoining with the Pika Roshu in his ears. Yeah, good job, DK. Shiny Waffles also having a little bit of trouble. Let's see, he's also binned his lap. But luckily there's 4 minutes to go. Still plenty of time for anyone to get back in it. Thanks, Bowie. Nice to see you. Good job, DK, for cheering on your dad. Hi, Raf. How's it going? Of course, Raf will be making his license split debut this week after, with me, winning the Magello 4 hours last week. Shout out to my boy Raf. You were spectacular last week. I hope to see you repeating your wisdom and patience that helped us win last week. Yeah, we had some really, really good drivers last week in the Magello 4 hours. I was really happy with how that race went. It was we had a whole week of practice races, and throughout the week things got a lot better and people got a lot cleaner, and I think the race was definitely as good as it could have been for our first ever proper endurance event. So very pleased with how that one came out. Of course, winning didn't hurt either. Just gonna flags. It's kind of all quiet up front here with 3 minutes left of qualifying. Diego is pretty much in a class of his own right now. Kartoska and DDX Shadow are super close, as is Phil C, to each other, but they just can't seem to find that gap and get into the 15s and really touch on the same level that Diego is. Buzzed. Driptex channeling Olivier Panis. Actually, fun fact, by the time that livery was in use, Panis was, I believe, driving for BAR. I think Panis only had 1 season in Prost. He was more of a Ligier driver, and he had that horrible season where he broke his legs and he was never the same. Hello, Lantern. How's it going? Nice to see you in the chat. The title's all correct on Twitch. I don't know if you're messing with me, but yeah. DK Senior having some good start to his lap, but he just lost it in the last sector, so maybe he had a little bit of a slide there. As Kondek is going all over the curb, and I tell you what, he's going to have to move quickly if he wants to get another lap in. Luckily, he's very smart and goes back to the pits rather than trying to spin turn on the main straight. Woof. Dead car in the last turn. With 2 minutes to go, let's see if DK Senior can get one last push and move himself further up into the top 10. Zibuchu with a good looking lap there, moving up to 13th. Shiny Waffles appears to be having trouble again, unfortunately. Shiny Waffles wins the prize for the best livery this week, but looks like he's having a little bit of trouble with qualifying. So we see Driptex trying to guide that Frost Acer livery round, while Kartoska's sitting in his fag packet branded Ferrari. We were trying to work out earlier, I think this is a 1994 Ferrari, not a 1995 Ferrari. The 95 Ferrari would have had gold rims. The cars are not fixed setup, Gavino, but although there is a setup from Lowy, who is kind of the Assetto Corsa god, which is in the general chat, so you can find that one if you want to. Well, you've got a minute if you want to jump in the race, Gavino. Just find the setup in the chat. There is the setup from Lowy, which is very, very good. People have been doing like 15.2s in that during the week, so that'll get you where you want to be. But this car, honestly, it doesn't really make a huge difference. I mean, once you've got a good setup on it, that's kind of as fast as it goes. It's quite a nice car for creating close fields. It's not a massive separator of drivers by skill. Like, you know, if you might be 2 or 3 seconds off in a different car, but in this you're going to be like half a second. It's quite an equalizer. Not today. You're on the phone, but well, thank you for stopping by the Twitch, and looking forward to seeing you back in a race sometime soon. With 30 seconds to go, it is all looking quiet. I think Phil C is the only driver on track who's looking to improve right now, as he's currently only a tenth off of Diego through the first sector. So maybe a good lap might snatch him a P2 or even a P3 if he gets it together here. And he's only a tenth and a half down through Sector 2, but I think Sector 3 is where Phil's been losing his time this week, of course. These final 3 corners really do make or break your lap, so if Phil can get a really nice exit out that final turn, he might jump Kartoska and DDX Shadow on the line. Let's see what can he do. He looked a bit cautious through the last line there. Let's see what is he going to do all the way to the start-finish line. And I don't believe it. Phil C has taken second place. Very, very tight lap. It's going to be a tight gap. He's only done it by less than a tenth of a second, and I think Kartoska is in the pits. Let's see what DDX Shadow is up on. He's going to be starting his final lap just now. I'm not sure if he made it over the line in time. We will see. I think DDX Shadow has finished. That's going to be it for him. Driptex moves into 4th place with a very tidy lap. That's a great performance from Driptex. Really, really good lap from him there. That's a very, very compact, tight grid there. Look at that. That top 10 is really, really tight for open split. And if you kind of discount Diego Domingo, who's clearly on another level today, I think that's a really, really tight grid. Looking very good. Yeah, it's nice to see all the drivers qualified within 3 seconds of a very good pole time. I mean, Diego's time would have put him in the top 10 in the license split, so that's a really good time from him. But yeah, looking forward to seeing a very close race. So while we are waiting, I will just go and remedy some of my FPS issues, because I'm currently getting 50 FPS all the cars together, so let me just go and fix that. I'm back in 1 second. I believe Ren normally does the predictions and the Twitch betting, but I think he's busy doing coursework right now because he's a sellout, so let me just turn some of these settings down. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to turn the world detail down, which is going to affect my lovely track skin that I made this week with Adrian's help. While waiting for the race to start, I will talk you through the track skin, because there's a whole bunch of stuff for it. Oh, apparently Ren said to F off, so there you go. There's your Twitch betting this week. Ren's not doing it, so I'm just loading back in. I got people pinging me during the... Hang on. Okie dokie, let's get the show back on the road. So yes, this will be your qualifying time. We have Diego Domingo with a spectacular debut in the charged open split, taking pole position by almost half a second. Phil C with a banging lap at the depth to grab second place. Kartoska, Driptex and DD Shadow all biting at the heels from 3rd to 5th. Alfredo taking 6th, Jukuzek in 7th, DK Senior with a really good performance in 8th. Mako 9th, and Buzz running up the top 10. We also have Cosmic Fox, Darwell, Zbuchu, Gumi, Shiny Waffles, Conduct, Everystone making up the grid, and Ariti as well will be making the grid, but he's not set a lap in because he joined so late. While we're waiting, I'll just turn off AutoCam for a second. We'll have a little gander around the track skin, which like I said, it was made by me and Adrian this week, and it's looking very good. We got a whole bunch of fun stuff going on in there. Oh, hang on, let me just get the auto start system off. So of course we have all the usual bells and whistles, like the charged advertising boards and the charged happy birthday charge, because we are of course celebrating 1 year of being a community. We got some Minecraft cake there, looking real good. In the pits, oh, I'm falling through the world. Here we go. Got some lovely. My camera preset's being weird. Hang on. We've got some lovely little charged grid slots, some charged tents. Looking very snazzy. Of course, we take a little spell into the infield. Let me see, where is it? Oh, we of course have Steven's dungeon. Keep out. Where is the greatest shop known to man? Here it is. Here it is. If you want a snack in between races, you can go to Ren's Dirty Donners, where you can get a Dirty Donner, some cheesy balls, or some iced tea. Let's go have a quick look if we can see some familiar faces in the crowds. Let me just go find them. Here we go, as we have... we have our benevolent race control master. We have our beloved, most British German moderator. We have... that's Pikaroshu again. And that one is... that's Scythe! And that's Pikaroshu again. There's Handsome Patrese somewhere, and Boz, and me, and a few others. So yeah, lots of fun with the track skins today. We have lots of fun fake sponsors, of course. We got the Speed Punters, got Steven's Boiling Hot Iced Tea, Fyodor's Cheesy Balls, little Mike Hawk Racing, billboard, just for my own vanity. Of course, happy birthday charge, looking lovely. Anyway, right, let's get underway. So with 2 minutes to go before the start of the race, we'll just have our little auto cam rundown of this week's liveries. This snazzy looking, almost purple Sauber, looking very snazzy under the sun. Phil C's livery looking nice this week. Oh, how could I forget? How could I forget? Hang on. How could I forget? Oh, hang on. The greatest part of this track skin. The man, the myth, the legend himself. Whoop, hang on, that's not what I want. We have Race Control Steven watching out and keeping an eye over all the race, of course, with his 1 year of charged outfit. We have a little propeller hat for him. Can't remember whose idea that was. I think it was Alan's. And instead of being a marshal, he's got the best admin award. Oh, Quantum has subscribed with Twitch for 2 months. Thank you very much, Quantum. AKA Ryoshi, who's now helping run our Minecraft server. Well, I think he's hosting our Minecraft server now on the Discord. If anyone wants to play Minecraft, Charged is the place. Anyway, with 30 seconds to go, let's whack autocam back on and get ready. So Diego's sitting there looking very nice on pole. Phil C is second, Kartoska third, Driptex fourth. What's gonna happen? It does have all the dedicated RAM. It has like 64 gigabytes of RAM or something insane like that. It's ridiculously powerful. So if you want the most swole Minecraft server in the world, you know where to go. We are getting ready now. There is 10 seconds to go before the lights go out. I don't know what autocam is showing me right now, but we'll just hope it changes when the race starts. And it is a green light, and we are away. Diego Domingo taking a nice aggressive start, covering off Phil C off the line. Phil C getting a really good run away as Kartoska and Driptex are just kind of left there in the dust. Everyone's gotten away cleanly so far. I haven't seen any contacts as the race is underway, looking very good. Diego Domingo is holding first place with Phil C really pushing as everyone's making it through turn 2. Again, it's still looking pretty clean. We haven't had any major contacts so far, which is fantastic for an open split race. I'm really proud. Everyone is away as Driptex has lost the place, I think, to DDX Shadow. Oh, Shiny Waffles is having some trouble down in 18th. He's getting behind Everystone as Oriti is up to 16th after not qualifying. He's had a really good start. Diego now has almost half a second off on Phil C already in the first lap, so I think Diego's going to run away with this race as Mako is in trouble. Or as is Buzz. They have both gone off, I think. Ooh, lots of shuffling in the order there as taking a while to rejoin, but it's looking okay. No major crashes right now as Darwell is looking a little bit slow on the straight as well. Kartoska and Phil C are going side by side up the hill though. This is going to be a great battle. Let's see this one play out. Kartoska has the inside of Phil C here. Can Phil hang it out with the downforce? I don't think so. Can he get the cutback going into the penultimate corner? I think that's wham bam thank you from Kartoska. He's going to be off as Jikuzek and Alfredo are really close to each other. Alfredo making a really good performance in qualifying. Looking forward to seeing what he can do. But yeah, when your entire field of amateur sim racers does better than Mazepin on lap 1, you know everyone's done a good job. Shiny Waffle's getting a little bit of a slow exit there. He's going to lose a place or two going across the line. Kartoska's almost put a second on Phil C already. That's a really good performance of him so far, but Diego's just disappeared up in first place. I doubt we'll be seeing very much of him this race, to be honest. I look forward to seeing the reverse grid race and how he can make his way through as Jikuzek and Alfredo are currently side by side. Let's see, what can Jikuzek do? Oh, Ren is doing the betting. Oh, okay. Hang on, I have infinite charge points because I'm signed in with charge, so I'll tell you what, I won't take part in the gambling today due to partiality. Also, the stream is looking much better for me. Let me know what you guys think. If it's still choppy, I can work on it, but yeah. But I think it's looking a lot smoother now. Now bet again and lose it, that's the charged way. Alfredo and DK Senior are currently going side by side. I'm trying to pick them out. The autocam keeps changing. Oh, as DDX Shadow has had a spin. He's now making his way down the grid. Let's see if I can stay on him. Oh, that's a really hairy rejoin from DDX Shadow there. That is almost maniacal there. That's definitely not what we encourage. Zariti and Zibuchi are also up. There's a lot of spins this lap as Ariti rejoining relatively safely, but he's definitely not giving every stone a free drive path as Zibuchi's had a big old spin and just getting back on it now, so looks like everything's leveling out. Had a little bit of a punterino there, but luckily everyone's live. DK Senior is driving really well up to 6th place, of course. DK Senior, the only guy here with real life racing experience. He raced cars probably not too dissimilar to this a few years ago, so it'll be great seeing him put his real world experience to use as he's now going side by side with Alfredo. Can he be late on the brakes? No, DK Senior just backs out there. He's thinking, I'm going to get you back on the straight. The slipstream is so powerful in this car as Phil C and Driptex are now changing places here as I think Driptex has just got past Phil. I think Phil's maybe lacking a little bit of race pace today, or he's just a little bit, maybe a bit timid. I think it's his first time being up the front for Phil, so I think he's just getting comfy. You know, it's been his first, he did a lot of practice this week, so I think Phil's just getting in the groove. Taking a nice tight line there while Driptex was a little bit wide, but not quite getting close enough. Up the front, Diego Domingo has just checked out up front. He's 1.5 seconds clear. Kartoska is keeping up with him. He's setting pretty comparable lap times, but those two have definitely just disappeared from the rest of the pack. As Shiny Waffles here is now having a look at every stone. What can he do? Thank you, Will. Yeah, I definitely wanted to work on making the stream look really good this week, so I got all the amazing stream tech that Ramos worked on for Magello, like the TrackMac and the AutoCam and the ACTV configs that were all redone from the ground up. So Alfredo and DK Senior are still in a really close pack here, catching back at Jikuzek too. It's going to become a three-way fight between these guys, and a lot of really good clean racing so far. I'm absolutely astonished at the lack of crashes. I have to say, I am glad we ended up with a smaller grid size. I would not have liked to have had 30 cars in open split racing around. This is a very crashy combo, just kind of inherently, and I mean, you don't really have to go very far to find races of Tatuuses just smashing into each other everywhere, so I'm really pleased at the amount of effort everyone's put in this week and the smart, sensible driving on offer here. And once again, Diego Domingo and Kartoska setting reasonably close lap times, I have to say. Kartoska is not falling back. If Diego were to find traffic or have a little bit of an accident... Oh, as DK Senior is off. Oh, that's a shame for DK Senior. I'm not sure what happened there. He's right in the middle of the road, though. What can he do? DK Senior is spin turning on the main straight, I believe. Oh, that's a bit hairy. What can he do? He's really in a pickle here. What can DK Senior do? I believe the Tatuus is an F4. Oh, this must be so difficult for DK Senior. You can't see there's a blind corner behind you. I think he's got space though, and that's a sensible rejoin from DK Senior. I think he did his best there to avoid contact. It's put him all the way down to last, unfortunately, but we do have a reverse grid race, and if he comes last in the main race, it means he will start at the front for the reverse grid, so we might see a really good opportunity for a win from DK Senior. Buzz and Ariti going side by side in the two green machines. The Jordan 191 tribute and the Jaguar, I think it's the Jaguar R01 tribute as well, looking very snazzy. I like green F1 cars. There aren't enough green F1 cars, and the Aston Martin this year is not green. It's kind of a boring teal. I don't like it. It's not a proper Aston Martin anyway. It's Buzz and Ariti, and we've got Everystone behind them coming up into the mix. Let's see, it's going to be side by side going through this nice, beautiful, fast sweeping right-hander. The two green machines as Ariti's really squeezing Buzz there, trying not to let him get the run. I think Ariti is just going to hold it. That's a really nice move. I'm absolutely gobsmacked by the really good clean racing we've had here today. This is one of the cleanest open split races we've had actually, which is so surprising because it's such a crashy combo. This might be one of the weeks where there's more crashes in the licensed split than the open split. It's definitely looking that way so far. Yeah, I think a lot of guys, if race 2 is this clean, there are going to be a lot of guys getting their licenses this week. This is some really patient, smart racing on display here. As Alfredo and Jukuzek are really, really close. Oh, that's such a shame DK Senior had that spin and dropped out the fight. That battle with Buzz and Ariti has now turned into Buzz and Everystone, although Ariti's not far up the road, so it could be either of these guys. I think Buzz is going to go for it again. What can he do? Yeah, now side by side going up the hill. The slipstream is so powerful in this car, but of course when you're side by side, you're not in the slipstream, and oh! That's some very aggressive moving from Ariti there. I'm not a fan of that at all, as Fox, I believe, has DNF. I'm not sure if that was a disconnect or he had some kind of problem, but oh, I was not a fan of Ariti moving Buzz onto the grass there. That was a very aggressive move. Connection dropped. Oh, I'm so sorry, Fox. Well, if you rejoin and finish the race, it'll put you back at the front for the reverse grid. If you just drop out and wait, it won't, and you'll start at the back of the reverse grids. Just get back in and finish, and you'll make the grid for the reverse grid race. Oh, such a shame to see Fox getting a connection drop there. Unfortunately, in the world of sim racing, that's just one of those eventualities. And I believe Darwall is having trouble as well. He's oh no, that's not looking good, parked on the main straight. Luckily he's got some clear space, but oh, Darwall's having a problem here right now. Luckily there are no cars coming for a while, but oh, he's taking his sweet time sorting the car out. Fox is doing his Brazil stock car strategy. Well, it worked for you that week, so let's see if it can get you back on it again. Yeah, or the Ren strategy as it is known, binning it in race 1 then doing alright in race 2. Buzz and Ariti are still battling with Everystone behind them. This has been a great fight between these guys. Let's see if Buzz can get the move. Is Ariti going to move over again? I've seen him do it twice now, and that was honestly a bit too much for me, so I don't know if Ariti is going to repeat that. As Ariti holds, and all that's Everystone going over the grass there, but I think he managed to hold it. Let's see if we can see him. Yeah, he's okay. I think that was just a little whoopsie there from Everystone, but yeah, Ariti and Buzz still super close. Up front, the gap between Diego and Kartoska is still quite constant. They're setting comparable lap times, but Diego is just a hair faster. Druptex is looking really good in 3rd place. He's holding off Phil C a treat, as Phil C is also keeping Jukuzek behind him very, very nicely. Oh, as Buzz goes over the curb there, but luckily he's kept it going. Whew, that was a good save from Buzz. Luckily this car is quite stable and it doesn't like curbs, but if you ever get loose you just stamp on the brakes and you're absolutely fine. It straightens itself out like a torpedo. Self-stabilizing. I haven't commentated for a few weeks, I'm getting out of breath. But yeah, all is relatively quiet at this point. We have Mako and Cosmic battling for 15th and 16th. Frontside board slide from Buzz right there. Get some water, James. I've got some Beppis at my desk. Of course, representing the Will's employers. We got Buzz and Boz. I think someone said earlier, is Buzz the B-Tech Boz or is Boz the B-Tech Buzz? We'll find out. Oh, so that Alfredo is looking pretty close to Jikusek. Let's see what he can do. Oh, and as I say that, Jikusek just puts himself over the curb and unfortunately ends himself, and he's getting off the track to sort the car out, which is a sensible thing to do. It did look like Alfredo kind of drove through him a little bit there, so we'll have to have a look at that maybe in the stewarding if Alfredo kind of helped Jikusek off when he was spinning. But that has put Alfredo into 5th place, which is a great position for him on his weekly debut. Thank you very much, Raf. Do them dishes. Nobody likes doing the dishes, especially not me, bruh. And with 8 minutes to go, it is quieting down in the first race. The gap between first and second, Diego Domingo and Kartoska, is relatively stable. Kartoska is keeping pace with Diego. So it'll be interesting to see if Diego's tyres drop off, or if he makes a little mistake towards the end. Can Kartoska pounce for the win? Driptex is looking good in 3rd place, but Phil C is catching back up, so he might have an opportunity to get back in there and nab that podium position back. The gap is coming down, so maybe Driptex is his tyres are starting to get a little bit old. I'm not sure what what tyres everyone's running today, but I know the softs will probably not last the 20 minutes. Oh, and I can't believe it, Driptex has lost places. Driptex had a little bit of a wobble there, and Phil C is back onto the podium. Looking real good for Phil C, considering he started in 2nd. He's done really well to work his way back up and keep the pressure on Driptex and get that 4th place back. 3rd place even, bro, what am I talking about? As DK Senior is finding himself in trouble again, he's just gone a little bit wide there. Looks like he is recovering nicely though. He's got a bit of a gap to Darwell, so although that's going to put him a bit far away from Cosmic in 16th, so he's probably not going to make any more places. But he's going to have a P3 start for the reverse grid race, so DK Senior is going to look really good off the line. Yeah, I have to say I'm very impressed. Oh, and DK Senior, he's cooked his tyres now. That's going to be it for him, I think. His tyres are done. DK, if you're watching, tell your dad to just hang on and keep going. If he finishes the race, he'll start P3 in the reverse grid. But yeah, I have to say, really impressed with the racing today. A lot of guys have had some really clean racecraft. Azariti is gone. Oh, that's a shame. He was having a really, really interesting race. Having some good battles with Buzz and Everystone, but I think he's going to have to let the whole pack pass at this point. Ooh-wee. A little bit hairy there, but he's now got plenty of room, so that's a shame to see Ariti fall all the way down to 16th, but again, he will have a good reverse grid start place. Yeah, of course, as Stefan is saying, this car, it's quite easy to kind of, when it gets loose, you can kind of minimise the impact just by stamping on the brakes, but it doesn't like curbs, doesn't like elevation changes, it doesn't like grass, it has an absolutely ridiculously low ride height. If you want to go fast in this car as well, you've got to trim out so much of the wing, it does become quite twitchy, so you will see some little wobbles here and there, especially in the Pro Split. I am not racing today. I'm taking a week off after a month of pretty intense sim racing. I had the Daytona 12 hours, which just unfortunately missed out on winning. Came 2nd place in. Unfortunately, we had a disconnect while leading by 2 minutes. So, and then after that, we had the 4 hours of Magello, which I was very proud to have won with my boy Raf. So, I'm having a week off this week, and also honestly I'm not that good in this combo, and I didn't want to crash into everyone, so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to commentate. Oh, and as I say that, someone's gone off. Who was that? That was Zibukshu, just running a little bit wide at the last corner. He's lost a couple places, but not too much. But yeah, I didn't want to punt everyone. I'd rather sit here in the comms box watching everyone else crash. And the gap to Kartoska from Diego Domingo has got up to 3 seconds now. Diego's really in his stride. He's been pretty unchallenged this whole race, but reverse grid race to come. We're gonna really see his mettle get tested next race. As Fox is out there just trying to complete the laps, and he's having a bit of trouble going over the curbs. Whatever you do, don't gun it when you get on the grass. This car becomes an absolute missile when you put it on the grass. It just bottoms out and you lose all grip. Other than that, Shiny Waffles is looking in 12th place. He had a relatively consistent race. I don't think I've seen him get in too much trouble. The field split is actually quite tight as well, as Alfredo's setting banging laps, so 1:16.9 towards the end of the race. He's really done well to look after his tyres by the look of it. As Druptex is closing back in on Phil C for third place. Let's see if he can go get that position back. I think that is, I'm not quite sure who that is behind him. Is that not, it's not Mac, oh no, I'm looking at Shiny Waffles right now. Damn, autocam. I wish you could override the autocam. I want to look at Druptex. I wish I had like a one-button auto-ride, but yeah, Druptex is not far off Phil C at all. Let's see if he can try and get a look, as I think that's DK Senior now a lap down after his troubles as he's just getting out of the way. Druptex in that slipstream, but he doesn't seem to get that much of a pull. I think he's maybe overgeared the car a little bit. You can just see it's flat out this first corner when you're in clear air, and all the dirty air from the cars being chucked up above you really makes it hard to take your optimal line sometimes. As Buzz is having a problem as well. Let's see what's happened to Buzz. Oh no, luckily he's got clear track so he can rejoin, although he's duffing the wall on the other side. And I believe that's Zibuchu just cutting some grass behind him as well, so hopefully he can get back on track as well. Let's go back to the battle between Phil C and Druptex for third place at final podium position. Lance and I have not. Although, you know what, I did see. My girlfriend showed me a picture of a Wish ad that was like, it was like a screenshot of a Wish ad on Twitter, and it was for basically the exact same thing. It's a real product. I can't tell you what it's called, but definitely look up what you're thinking of, and it exists on Wish, and it was quite disturbing, I have to say. It was very funny, but quite disturbing. Anyway, back on topic. Druptex is right up with Phil C now, as Alfredo is not far behind. Are we going to see a fight for the podium? Druptex has the inside line. There's going to be 2 laps to go, but Phil C really quickly hangs it around the outside. That was a great defensive move from Phil C there. I think Druptex was even ahead on the straight there, but Phil just absolutely fearless, and I believe that is... I can't tell you who that is, but it's someone with a Polish flag backwards on the main straight, so I hope they're okay. I think that might be Zibuchi. Oh, Druptex running wide now, going over the curb. You don't want to do that, it's going to unsettle the car. Oh, this is going to be a great fight for P3 between Phil C, Druptex and Alfredo. And something has happened up the front, because Kartoska is now half a second away from Diego Domingo. I didn't quite catch that. Diego must have lost some time somewhere, because Kartoska is now reeling him in. Let's go on board with Kartoska and see if he can get this move done. I don't believe it here. We're going to get a battle for P1 and a battle for P3 with only a lap or 2 to go. Something has happened. Diego is so slow. He's just bled half a second to Kartoska in the last corner. This is almost certainly going to be Kartoska going for the lead here. I am not sure what happened to Diego. Has he run out of fuel? As Kartoska has taken the lead with 1 lap to go. And there is a very slow-looking Fox running above as DK Senior is also off the track. Let's hope these guys can stay out the battle for the lead. And Druptex is past Phil C as well, but they are still going side by side. Oh, as Diego Domingo lost almost a second that lap to Kartoska. I'm not sure what's happened. Oh, as Druptex has spun, and Phil C avoids, and unfortunately Alfredo just collects him, but Alfredo manages to continue. That's going to be Druptex's podium hopes gone, but something has happened to Diego Domingo as he has lost an incredible amount of time. He was about 5 seconds ahead, so either his tyres are burned up or he's running low on fuel, but the gap is closing back up again. I don't know, whatever happened, maybe Diego's over it now, but Phil C is now looking pretty commanding in third place after Druptex's spin, and Alfredo getting collected by the spinning Druptex, but we have another battle for the lead here going on. Let's go on board with Diego and see what he can do. But Phil C looking banging in third place. What an absolute chad. There are some slow moving cars on the straight here. This is going to be some trouble. We have Zibuchi just lagging all over the place. Is this going to decide the race? I don't believe it. Diego is drafting, but there are 2 lapped cars. Get out the way. Get out the way, man. Kartoska has the inside line here. It's going to go to the line. I don't believe it. Diego Domingo is going side by side. He has the inside line. Kartoska is absolutely hoofing it, and he runs really deep into the final corner. This is going to be a photo finish. I absolutely cannot believe it, as Kartoska just loses out. Diego wins with an absolute stunning final lap. I cannot believe it. Wowee. Oh, Kartuska just overcooked it in that penultimate corner, and he went too deep, and that gave Diego the run. Fantastic racing from both those guys there. As Phil C is going to take third place with Alfredo not far behind. Banging result from these guys. Kartuska is stopped on the track. Don't do that, man. You're going to hurt people's wrists. DDX Shadow takes a really great fifth in his first race for a couple weeks. Always great to see DDX Shadow back. As Gumi93 has a very quiet race and takes 6th place. He's done a really good job of keeping out of trouble there. Driptex, oh, such a shame. He had a really great race, finishing ahead of his mate Jukuzek. I don't know if are they related or are they friends, but either way, that's a nice little joint finish for them. Every Stone also with a nice quiet race, staying out of trouble as Driptex does some spins. Every Stone taking a nice 9th place as Condek rounds out the top 10. Shiny Waffles and Buzz finishing 11th and 12th. It's a shame for Buzz, I think he had a couple incidents early on. And Cosmic with a 13th place. Nice result from him, also just keeping out of trouble. Mako has somehow gone into the void. And Ariti had a good start to the race, but he is probably going to take 15th. As Zibucha is looking all over the place. I think I saw his car lagging everywhere, so... As Boz has made a hella charge points by getting a... Filthy on the podium. Ren has just banned someone. Sorry, that must have been a bot. I didn't see that. But thank you very much, Ren, for helping moderate the Twitch stream. Yes, it was a bot. Thank you very much, Ren. Appreciate the love. Anyway, good looking. Good racing there. Let's see if we can get Phil C in the comms booth. I'll try and drag him in. Where is he? Where is he? Here we go.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot I was push to talk. Yeah, I'm still sweating. That was really good. He was catching me in some parts of the track, I was catching him on some others, and at the last turn, we were side by side. I thought, wow, something's going to happen, but we somehow managed to pull through, and he had a really unfortunate spin on the, I don't know if it was the last lap or, yeah, but that was really good. I'm happy with that. Yeah. Wow. Wow, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Right, thanks.
God. Oh my god, sorry, my microphone is muted. I don't know what happened. I sent Diego to the wrong chat. Hang on. Where is he? Oh god, what have I done? If you're listening, Diego, I'm sorry. Where is he? I wanted to interview him and I just lost him. Anyway, well, that's probably not going to be our interview for Diego there. Oh my god. Okie dokie, let's get us back on for race 2. Of course, we have 3 more races still to come today. We have a whole evening of spectacular sim racing action. We, of course, do have our license split coming up later on today with all your favourites. We're going to have Lowy, we're going to have Jens, we're going to have Adrian, DK. Oh, it's going to be super spicy. Got pings on Discord, I'm just trying to read them. Hopefully Diego's made his way back to the voice chat. I didn't mean to move him. He's back in there, he is, sorry. Right, I'm trying to get everything back up. My mind is frazzled. With 2 minutes to go, I'll just have a little break.
And just as James takes a little break, Tommy Ball jumps in! And he is actually away. What a race, everyone. That was amazing. I bet against Phil. I lost all my money. But it's fine. Everything's alright. How's everyone doing in the chat? We can't hear James. He's gone away. He's left. Same Tommy. Oh, he's muted everyone. Nice. I'm looking forward to the license split later on as well. I'm getting told to go back to the other group of everyone. James will never know. He'll never know I was in here.
Okay, I am back and ready to race. Has the commentary booth been crashed? I'm seeing a lot of hi Tommies in the chat. Oh no, has there been some spawning issues? Oh no. Oh, just AC doing AC things. Hang on. Let's have a look. We've got a minute to go. Unfortunately, whoever that is, just drive off. Oh, that's Gumi and Jikuzek. Yeah, when you can, just drive off. You'll have to take a drive-through penalty, unfortunately, but it shouldn't hurt you too bad. Unfortunately, that's just a set of course of being a set of course, or it does do that sometimes. I think it's been that one spot, because we had some issues there later. Like, if you disconnect on the grid and respawn back in, it will do that. Anyway, don't ask me why I picked the week where I have, like, 3 mouth ulcers to commentate. I was like, oh, I'll commentate, I'll do the whole thing on my own. Oh.
See,
yeah, we can't restart the session. Oh, is that Tommy?
Yeah.
Oh, hello, Tommy. How's it going?
Oh, good. I'd crashed your booth for a couple of minutes, but I'm just going to pop back out. But
you can stay if you want.
Typical that I managed. To be honest, it's quite fun in the other chat before.
Yeah, go for it.
Because it's chaos. To be honest, amazing how clean that last race was.
Yeah, I will have to cut in, Tommy, because we've got 6 lights. We're about to
go
again.
Go
so
I'll catch you later. Good luck.
Thank you, Tommy. Bye-bye. And we are off for the reverse grid race, and we have Cosmic in a reverse grid pole, who gets a nice clean getaway. It's looking good so far. We have Shiny Waffles and Buzz. Everyone making it through turn 1 so far. Haven't seen any contact yet. Let's see Cam keep it clean. Oh, and Druptex and Gumu taking each other out. I'm not quite sure what happened there. But Druptex seems to have recovered. Oh no, there's been more contact. Druptex coming back on. That's Diego Domingo is also involved there. That's the potential mini championship winner getting in some early trouble there. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. We've got Kondek, I think, is also around now. He's still going. DK Senior and Fox are quietly making their way through as they're getting really close together there. Woo-wee! Strangely enough, both those guys seem to start at the back despite them finishing at the back of the first grid, as Cosmic is currently still in the lead. Let's have a look. There's contact down in here. I think that's just some people riding the curb. We have Alfredo off on the grass. It's a lot more chaotic this time round. I think a lot of people have won some charge points. Oh, Gumi is just going from bad to worse. He's had more trouble, unfortunately. Poor Gumi's almost down to last. We have Zabuchi not far behind him. Druptex also involved in some early drama, but despite all of this, Kartoska is already up to 6th. He stayed out of all the trouble. Great job from him. Phil C also in 8th place, making some big moves. Phil could take the overall win today if Kartoska was going to have some trouble. As talking about trouble, Shiny Waffles is completely off on the grass and everyone's flying past him there, so not sure what happened to Shiny Waffles. But he's just getting gobbled up by this reverse grid now. As Jikuzek now makes a move for the lead. Cosmic doing a great job of hanging on. I think in only his 2nd race in charge, leading a lap, that's going to be fun for him. As Buzz is also hanging a move around the outside, but he just clips that curb. But he keeps the momentum as Buzz is now going to take 2nd place. Ariti and Diego are having a battle down and further in the grid. Oh, that's a big crash. I'm not quite sure who that was. That's Alfredo, completely off. Oh, he really ate the wall there, unfortunately. So that's Alfredo well back. And I have to say, the battle is on right now because Diego's got some serious work to do if he wants to catch back up to Kartoska and Phil, who are looking really good up in 5th and 7th. If they can get a move on past all these slower drivers ahead of them, they could easily both win the overall championship. Diego is currently only in 12th. He needs some serious points. He's got to be outscored by either Kartoska by less than 5 points or Phil C by less than 7 points if he wants to take the overall win today. As DDX Shadow is also moving up into 3rd place. He had a really good qualifying but was a little bit anonymous in the race, so He's putting the moves on Kartoska for 4th place, but Kartoska was really in a hurry to get to the front. As Cosmic is now down to 5th place, he's just kind of trying to hang on at this point. Unfortunately, the faster cars are spilling past him, but you know, it's nice to have an opportunity to lead the race for a little bit. Kartoska's got back past DDX Shadow and is now up into 3rd. So this is a really good start from Kartoska, and Phil C is struggling to get through the traffic just as quickly, so this might be Kartoska's day today. But DDX Shadow is still on him. Let's go see as Phil C is getting past Mako. Phil's now got to catch Kartoska, but DDX Shadow is taking Kartoska too wide here. What can they do? Oh, but a little bit early on the brakes there from DD here. Oh no, as Kartoska has put it on the curb! I don't believe it. Jikuzek is off as well, and that's a really hairy rejoin from Jikuzek there. Oh my god, I'm trying to change this crappy camera. But oh my god, plenty of drama there as Kartoska. That could have been so much worse. I think Phil C ended up losing out some time there. Phil C is now drafting Kartoska side by side on the main straight. What can they do? Don't show me Darwell. I want to see the battle for 3rd place. God, this autocam. I'm going to turn it off, I think. But yeah, Phil C is now through. And if these two drivers were to finish 1st and 2nd today, I think that might make Phil C our overall event winner. Diego Domingo is already up to 9th. He's on the hunt, but he's got some work to do as Kartoska is on the grass again. I think the pressure's just maybe getting to him a little bit now, but Phil C is looking really good in 3rd place. He's got about 1.5 second gap to Buzz and DDX Shadow in the lead, so if he gets a move on, he could really make some stuff happen today. Other than that, Cosmic is still hanging on in 5th place, I think. After all that drama, he managed to kind of get through completely unfurled, so Cosmic's doing a good job of hanging on to 5th place with a lot of really quick drivers bearing down on him behind him. Buzz is currently sitting in the lead, followed by DDX Shadow, and Phil is not catching him as quickly as he'd like as DK Senior puts the moves on Mako. There's Mako and Diego. Oh, this is going to be a spicy one. Let's go on board with Diego and see what he can do. Of course, the draft is going to be absolutely insane going up the hill here. Let's see what can Diego do. He's got... Oh, it's going to be 3 wide here. With DK Senior on the outside, this could be a repeat of what happened to DK last year. Oh, this is looking hairy, but I think Diego is going to take both of them, and it looks like he does. Oh, and there's contact! Much like I predicted, DK Senior and Mako have just completely both gone to the Shadow Realm. I think Mako was carrying too much speed, and he just ran out of road and took DK Senior with him. That's a real shame. Mako is fully dead. DK Senior is back on track, but he's now getting a slide because his tyres are hot. There's been a change up for the lead. DDX Shadow has now taken the lead as Kartoska has got back past Phil C, so everything's happening. Every stone, Zabuchi and Mako are also all off. There's just dead bodies everywhere, unfortunately. But Phil C is trading places with Kartoska again. I can't even keep up. Woof. DK says, oof, I remember this one. I have to say, when you go 3 wide through a flat-out corner like that, it's always going to be a risk. As Cosmic has finally given up the ghost, it looks like he's dropping places rapidly. Oh, there's Darwell is also around. It's all falling apart at this point now. I think everyone's nerves have got the best of them, but Phil C has just dropped a little bit back from Kartoska as Jikuzek is also off. And it looks like he's properly gone to rookie jail here. Let's see if Jikuzek can get a good rejoin. Oh, this is the worst feeling in the world, sitting there and watching the whole field go past you. Darwell is also in trouble. He is just completely spent by the looks of it right now. Poor Fox has had another terrible start as he's now 30 seconds behind the pack. So let's see. Currently we have DDX Shadow in the lead, followed by Buzz and Kartoska, who is currently looking like a... Well, as I say that, hang on. Diego Domingo has quietly worked his way back up to 5th place, so I think the overall win is going to be really tight today. I think as it stands, Diego will win, because Phil C and Kartoska are not outscoring him by more than 5 points, but this could change very quickly. As Zabuchi's in more trouble. I think Zabuchi needs to do a little bit more practice for next week. Just read over the racing rules on Charged and work a little bit on just your consistency in racecraft. Alfredo is climbing up to Shiny Waffle. Shiny Waffle's had a good reverse grid race, chilling in 9th place. Again, relatively trouble-free from him. as Buzz is now catching Kartoska. Well, I think Kartoska has caught Buzz, but they are still very close together. What can Buzz do? Kartoska is looking really, really rapid today. Again, he's done a lot of practice this week. I've seen a lot of Kartoska on the server, and he's been looking good throughout the week, and he looks very, very kind of confident and in control. I mean, his avoidal of all that lap 1 drama was really, really smart. But DDX Shadow is setting some fast times in first place as well. But, oh my god, Diego Domingo is setting a 15.9 on race pace, so he's going to be bearing down on Phil C probably this lap. Whew, that is some pace, boy. Man's got pace, bro. Of course, Stephen with his usual input in the chat. Hi, Stephen. DK Senior is closing up on Oriti. What can he do? Going in this big old braking zone. Is DK Senior brave enough, or is he going to wait? Oh no, and DK Senior just rear ends him. That's a shame. Luckily, they avoided making contact, but I still think DK Senior ended up taking the place there due to that contact. That'll be one for the stewards to have a look at later. That was yeah, just an outbreak moment there. And unfortunately, poor Oriti's getting swallowed up right now with Alfredo in the mix as well. Once again, it's looking like it's going to be 3 wide going into this fast right-hander. Spells danger. DK Senior is being very defensive with his lines here as Oriti takes the inside, but luckily he holds it off. Although Oriti just completely understeers into Alfredo, giving him a bonk, but oh, Alfredo is now a missile. He's jumped over the curb, but I don't believe it. That must have been a millimeters gap right there. Amazingly, they ended up not killing each other. I can't believe it. Jesus Christ, that was tight. I'll have to have a look at the replay later on, but I think Alfredo very nearly became a bomb. An absolute missile as Kondek is having some real trouble. Again, Kondek, I would say, spend some more time on the server, do a bit more practice for next week, and you'll have a better time. People are here to help you, don't forget. Kartoska is now closing up on DDX Shadow. He's looking really quick as Diego Domingo is really on the back of Phil C already. That was astoundingly quick how fast Diego was caught up. He's really got some pace. I look forward to seeing him more in the future. I think he's definitely earned himself a pro license based on his drive today, so I'd love to see Diego driving with the top guys next time round. Oh, it's so close now between Diego and Phil. What can Diego do? Gets a really nice line through that final corner. Just look at how much drive Diego gets there. That was a really clean line, and he's now side by side going into turn 1. He will almost certainly make Phil C yield there as he does. Phil getting a little bit loose on the curb, but he's not giving up. I think Phil can just see his potential first win in charge just ebbing away from him, unfortunately, as now Diego is already tearing up to Buzz. Oh, and that's a really, really confident move there. Just saying, nope, that's mine. Great driving there. And I think Buzz might end up losing a place to Phil as well, as Phil is now slipstreaming Diego. But a lot of really great tight racing from all of these drivers here. I'm really, really impressed. As Phil, last of the outbreak, last late breakers. Oh, but Diego has gone wide and he's going to spin. I don't believe it. Well held from Diego, but he's now back behind Phil C. And oh, I don't believe it. I think Phil C has just ended himself there. Oh, that is such a shame. I think Phil was way too eager to get back on the track and close Diego off, and I think he just took them both out there. That's almost certainly gifted the win to Kartoska. I think based on his pace, Diego was going to win today. He was going to catch these guys, and poor Diego is still, poor Phil is still stuck, unfortunately. I think he's either having to wait for everyone to go, or he might have clipped into the wall there, but I think that's Phil's day over, unfortunately. Diego is climbing his way back up, but I think he's too far back now to catch up. As Kartoska is now going for the lead with DDX Shadow, I believe 2 Portuguese drivers going for the win today. James, it wasn't Phil. We will have to have a look in the replay. For me, I mean, obviously from what I could see, it looked like Phil was just a bit too eager to close the door on Diego coming back on, but we can have a look later on. Of course, that's why we have stewarding. The commentary is not the judge, jury, and executioner. We have a whole team of stewards who look at every race and decide incidents and apply penalties when needed. Of course, Kartoska getting really close, and they might have had a little bit of a bump there, I'm not sure. What the fuck's Ren saying? Bruh! I'm just trying to be impartial, based on what I saw. Anyway, Kartoska is still fighting DDX Shadow for the win. Going side by side, I think Kartoska's going to get the move done here, as he does, and that's a nice move from him. I think Kartoska's got the late race pace. I think that should carry him on to a win. I think without any further competition, Kartoska is going to win the overall event today. It's a shame that Diego and Phil were taken out by each other, spoiling the three-way fight for the finish. But as I say that, Diego is just tearing back up the field again. So it could still be on, who knows? So Kartoska has to outscore Diego by more than 5 points. So Diego has to finish second if he wants to get a tied victory today, and I think that might be a bit out of his grasp with 6 minutes still to go. But of course, if Diego was responsible for that contact, that might drop him down, so Kartoska could be in for a real clean sweep today. DDX Shadow doing a great job in second, and Buzz really good holding on in third. Driptex as well, he had a crash earlier on in the race, and he's done a great job of keeping himself up there. And DK Senior sitting quietly in 6th as well. He also had a massive crash earlier on in this race, where I believe him and Mako kind of, I think it was more Mako's fault, to be honest, that contact they had. Tommy putting Ren in his place, who's being spiffy in chat. Anyway, we have 56 viewers on Twitch. Hello, twitch.tv/ChargedSimRacing if you want the best Assetto Corsa community with weekly races, championships, endurance races, leagues, weekly races, hot lap challenge, a whole bunch of fun. We do War Thunder, we do Minecraft, we do Assetto Corsa, whole lot, hell of fun stuff. Discord.me/charged. Join that boy. As DK Senior and Diego Domingo are having a really good wheel-to-wheel here, going sideways as DK goes over the curb, and I think that's DK Senior. Oh, that is a scary one, and he's rolling back onto the track. Oh, and that is not the cleanest rejoin from DK Senior there. He could have held the brakes there, but luckily all is going on. The chat is playing favourites because, of course, Phil is their mate and they hang out every week, but we will have to see that instant again and again and again for 3 hours in stewarding before we make a call on what happened there. Kartoska is now a second clear of DDX Shadow. I think he's looking... Oh, what? No, and the curse of the commentator! I don't believe it! Kartoska is round! This has just blown this race wide open again. I have no idea what happened there. I cannot believe it. Something happened. Kartoska was comfortably in the lead by a second and he has spun. The Spinella has struck again as Kartoska is now back down to third. But this is very interesting because it now opens up the championship with Diego Domingo in 6th place. And Kartoska has to outscore Diego by more than 5 points. And I'm doing the maths here. 3rd is 18th, 4th is 16th, 5th is... Hang on. 18, 16, 14, 12. So currently Diego needs to make 1 place and he might win this, but of course there might be penalties pending for him if... might be penalties pending for Diego if he did cause that crash earlier with Phil, so anything could happen, but I think if either of these drivers can make up a place or two, either could win. You can hear what you want, DK. I'm in the booth. I'm running it today. I can say what I want. Anyway, Jikusek with a nice lap there of 17.4, his fastest off the race. But Driptex is now on the back of Kartoska as Cosmic is having a little spino as well. Spinotto. Unfortunately for Cosmic. Let's see, can he get back on the track? Luckily he keeps out of trouble. That's a pretty hairy place to spin. What can Driptex do? Closing back up on Phil Sears. Cosmic is still in the grass, unfortunately, as Jikusek gets past Shiny Waffles for 8th place. That's a shame for Cosmic after such a strong start to his race. I believe Driptex is falling back from Kartoska, but Kartoska is catching up to, I believe that's a lapped car ahead of him, so I hope he's getting on the mic and doing a James special and telling him to get the heck out of the way. Oh, Jikusek is off! Oh, and something has happened with Shiny Waffles. No, that's DK Senior as well. I'm not sure if they made contact or they both just had a little spin in tandem. So poor Kondek is also going around again. Something's just happened to him, I think. It's not Kondek's day. He's got to go back and do some work for next week. Gumi is also just stopped in the middle of the track. What the heck is he doing? As Phil C is just stuck there, and Gumi's just doing donuts now. I think he's got to wise up a little bit for next week. And poor Kondek is still stopped. 2 minutes to go. I think this is just a hazard. It's maybe time for Kondek to go back to the pits. I think he's not going anywhere. letting all the cars past. Anyway, DDX Shadow is now in the lead with almost a 10-second lead after Kartoska's fumble. Bar's having a great race in second place with Druptex in third as Gumi is just doing Tokyo drifting right now, trying to race Kondek. Oh, and that's an absolutely atrocious rejoin from Kondek! He spent a minute on the grass and Diego is off as well. I'm not quite sure what's happened. It's all kicking off right now. Diego is off again. I'm not quite sure what happened in the same corner, as he has now fallen way back, and I think this has gifted it to Kartoska. It's such a shame Phil was stuck in the grass for such a long time, because if he'd had a quicker rejoin, this race could be his today. At this rate, with Kartoska in fourth, I can't even tell you who's won. I cannot tell you who is going to win today, because I can't remember where DDX Shadow came in the first race, but that rejoin from Kondek was absolutely atrocious. He spent almost a minute, more than that in the grass, only to rejoin right into the path of other cars, so Race Control will have a look at that one. I know it's open split, but still, we expect better from that. Everyone needs to be reading racing rules and not doing that kind of stuff, You need to have basic minimum standards of being able to control the car and not rejoining right into the path of everybody else. Zibuchi is also just stuck on the grass, but at least he's waiting for a gap. There are cars coming, though, so... Oh my god, I can't believe who is that behind? That's Jikusek. No, it wasn't Jikusek, that was somebody else. I can't even keep up with it, but someone there just absolutely reeting the curb and flying into the grass. As Diego is off again, and something has just gone wrong. Diego's race is completely disintegrated as he's had multiple spins now. I think that might have to be an investigation for the stewards. He had a lot of pace in race 1, but I think, again, that's the thing. Some drivers just cannot handle the reverse grid anyway. Let's see. We're going to get one more lap from DDX Shadow, as Gumi is also off again. I mean, as I have said, this is why we do reverse grid races, because it sorts out the fast drivers from the ones that are really, really good. Sometimes, you might be a second lap quicker than everyone else, but if you can't make your way through traffic without getting in trouble, then just goes to show, as DDX Shadow is now having to lap Darwell, who's all over the place. Whew. My grumpy voice is coming out. Gumi is off the track again. I don't know what he's doing at this point. Oh, this is not looking good for Gumi. He's really struggling to keep the car on the road. I think maybe he should have gone into the pits there. Maybe he's just stopping. I don't know what he's doing, but either way. Anyway, so I can't give you an answer on who is going to win the overall events day. That's going to probably be decided in the stewards room based on some of these incidents I've seen today. But in general, we had a really good clean race today. For an open split, open wheel race on a really fast circuit, that could have gone a whole lot worse. Oh, and Alfredo is having trouble on the last lap. I don't believe it. Oh, it's heartbreaking for Alfredo as he's spin-turning the car, getting back on. But more importantly, this is going to be DDX Shadow's first win in charge. I don't believe it. He's had a really good reverse grid race, completely clean, stayed out of trouble, not had any hassle while everyone else has fallen him. DDX Shadow takes the win in the Charge weekly race at Mosport in the reverse grid. Great job from him. Really, really fantastic. Love to see him take his first win. Excellent job. And it's going to be a great second place for Buzz as well. And a third place for Driptex, which is such a great recovery from him after having a couple incidents early on. Kartoska, who I expect is the overall winner today, is taking fourth place, which is such a shame because it could have been so much more. Alfredo with a decent drive, but still a little bit more to work on, taking fifth. He had the pace to do really well this week. Shiny Waffles. As I say that, Shiny Waffles crashes right at the end, and it's going to be Uriti taking 6th place with his weekly race debut. Nice performance from him. Shiny Waffles is going to have to settle for 7th. Diego Domingo finally crossing the line in 8th. I have no idea what happened to him, so we will have to see what happened to Diego and why it all fell apart there. Every Stone takes 9th place, and DK Senior, after a troublesome race, is going to take 10th. Jikusek also, after some trouble, is going to finish 11th, and poor Phil C. Oh, he had it all to win, but unfortunately, just having that contact with Diego, I'm sure the stewards will decide who was at fault there, but he couldn't really recover after that. But either way, fantastic racing from the open split. We have the license split coming up very soon, so get yourselves ready. Get yourselves ready, because we're going to have Loey, Jens, Adrian, DK, Will, Stefan, Patrese. Oh, so many good drivers. It's going to be Dario. It's going to be banging up the front today. It's going to be banging up the front of Pro Split, so definitely hang out, because you are definitely going to see some of the most spicy racing in Assetto Corsa on twitch.tv/ChargeSimRacing. Oh yeah! And I believe everyone is now across the line. I'm just going to save my replay, so we definitely have replays. for the race. I'll be back in just a minute or two. Well, it looks like Nazim has been caught out by the change in daylight savings time. We are, of course, UTC +1 in the UK now due to a change in the time zone. Oh, we have DDX Shadow in the interviews. Hello, DDX Shadow. I didn't realise you were here. Hello. Congratulations on your win in the reverse grid race. How was it?
That was really cool. I actually didn't think that I was that far up in the pace department, and I wasn't, but the reverse grid gave me a good position for me to just hold on and not crash and get the win.
Yeah, you had a really good qualifying session. What happened in race 1 to drop you down?
I went in a patch of grass and I spun, I think,
Oh.
yeah, in the final corners.
But I have to say, yeah, it gave you a good position for the reverse grid race, and you kept your head down, you were really clean, stayed out of trouble. There was a lot happening behind you in that race, and there were a lot of guys losing their heads, so you definitely did a really good job. What happened when you were sitting in second place and Kartoska just lost it, and you just zoomed past and went for the win?
Yes, what I think was he had half of the wheels on the grass and half on the track, so it just spun him out.
Oh, that's such a shame. He was having a really good race. I think Kartoska still might be the overall winner today, but I'm not sure. We are going to have a look in the stewarding and results to decide that. But congratulations on your first win. I believe in charge, DDX Shadow. Great driving today. Look forward to seeing more of you next time.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Cheers, we'll go celebrate. I'll send you back. Cheers. Bye-bye. Ah, nice to have a little guest there. So yeah, a whole lot of racing going on. We are now going to transition to the license split practice race. Let me go load in. Okay, we are expecting probably a few more drivers for license split today. We're probably going to have about 25 drivers. Very star-studded grid today, so whew. Well, hang on, my password is not working. Hang on. Let me just try and join again. Has the password been updated? Let me have a look. It has. We are just loading back in. And we are back here at twitch.tv/ChargeSimRacing for free practice for the license split. And just straight away, Will Wadsworth, we've got Tommy Ball, Zyfe, Dario, Redshift, Boz, Patrese, Smithy, Stefan, me, although I'm in the commentator's car, DK, Alan, we're going to have Lowe, we're going to have Jens, we've got Adrian in here somewhere, oh, a whole lot of spicy drivers, we've got Toxic as well, Pika Roshu. Oh my lord, lots of good racing is going to happen today. I will just leave you guys on autocam for a sec while I have a little break. Anyway, we are back. I'm just back from my little break. As I said earlier, I picked the week where I have like a whole bunch of mouth ulcers to be like, yeah, I'll commentate the whole thing on my own. So I'm kind of at my own misery here, but a lot of good drivers coming in right now. We've had some more people load in. We have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Lowy, loading in. We've got Arbeker, Stefan, DK, Toxic, Pikaroshu, Raf, Hodgson, celebrating his first appearance in Pro Split after his fantastic win in Magellan last week, driving for Mike Hawk Racing with your boy. I tell you what, this is going to be a qualifying session that you are not going to forget. Last year it was absolutely amazing. We had Fyodor snatching pole right at the death with a 15.4. When the session was already over, I've no idea how we did it. He must have been literally like 0.1 second before the line. As Patrese takes an earlier provisional top in the free practice session. But I have to say, the fact that Redshift is already into the 16s, when I know he doesn't do much practice for the weeklies, that's going to be really exciting because he is only going to get faster. Stefan and Will and so many really quick drivers here today. It's going to be a lot, and I tell you what, this has been a really popular race on the server this week. There's been practice. There's some punting going on. I think that's Toxic and DK. I don't know if they're messing about, but yeah, it's been a really popular week on the server. We've had almost every night the server's been packed. Everyone's been doing a lot of practice. Some guys have been doing 3,000-4,000 kms of practice this week, so you know, everyone's been into it. Everyone's been feeling the car and the track combo as Alan takes first place. The first one to break into the 15s. Nice lap from Alan there. It's going to be so good today, I tell you what. There will probably be some crashes, but there is also going to be a lot of fun. As Adrian makes his debut on the track, bonking the pit lane a little bit. Here's why, always one for livery watch. We have Adrian, and oh my word, this car is just fantastic. I mean, Adrian always makes nice skins, but Lord, this one is really, really pretty. I love the reflective kind of gold and yellow texture on it, and the way he's contoured all the black and charcoal tones. But Adrian is disconnected again, so he's obviously got some kind of VR problem, but absolutely stunning car from Adrian this week. Pole, a 15.1. It's going to be Lowy, so he's done a 15.2 this week, so it's going to be close. I have to say Lowy will probably get pole, but definitely watch out for the guys behind him. I don't know if Jens has turned up yet, so see, Lowy's already making moves with a 16.2 on his first flying lap, so as Redshift's had a little bit of a spinola and gone back to the box. Lovely looking pink spec livery. I like Ramos' spec liveries a lot this week. But yeah, you are going to see today some of the absolute best drivers in the set, of course, are going all out. You know, it's a weekly race, there's not much at stake, everyone can have fun and maybe take some risks that you wouldn't normally take, but it's going to be... I can't even hype this up anymore, it's just going to be so spicy. As Adrian is back, let's go have a look what he's up to. It's the camera's showing me Lowy, who's on a very hot lap, and he's having to avoid a dead car in the wall there. Let's see what Lowy can do, how quick is it going to be. We have Dario as well. Don't rule out Dario. He's always an absolute silent assassin with his pace. As Toxic also is finding some time. I know he was struggling a little bit with the car combo this week. Toxic is usually one of the absolute quickest people you're going to see anywhere, but looks like he's finally getting some moves, getting towards the 15s. But yeah, of course, great job DDX Shadow on taking your victory today in the reverse grid race. Really good performance. You know, while a lot of guys were losing their heads in that race, you were super cool and stayed out of trouble and did a really, really good job to bring it home. Don't know what happened to Lowy. My camera seems to have balked, but yeah. Going around for another lap, so he must have abandoned that one, but yeah. So we're now up to 22 drivers in the session. I'm sure we'll have a couple more loading in before the end of qualifying, but yeah, as we were saying, here we are. Adrian's livery. And he gave me a special high-res one to run this week, because usually we have a file size limit on the liveries to stop them from being too big and ruining everyone's FPS, but Adrian sent me a special high-res one, and it just does look fantastic. I'm going to give him lots of screen time because he definitely deserves it, and the amount of effort he's gone to with this skin, you know, he's got the driver gloves and the suit and everything, decked out in his team kit, the Ascot Hornet, looking lovely. Alan is still on top in free practice with Dario not too far behind him, and Patrese and Toxic and Lowy. Oh god. I'm gonna faint, they're all so quick. But yeah, love seeing Adrian's effort as always. Really, really spectacular looking car. No, he did not pay me to fawn over his livery for several minutes during practice, but I'm going to do it anyway because it looks fantastic. And I'll tell you what, Adrian's going to be quick this week as well. I think he's taken some time to get used to his VR setup, and he's not raced in a weekly race for quite some time, so I think Adrian's just taking his time. But when he gets up to speed, Adrian's been almost as quick as Lowy and some of the other guys in some of the practice races, so it's going to be really spicy. I think poor Redship's having a little bit of trouble off track there. With only a minute to go, he's trying to race to get one more lap in, but his tyres are going to be on fire. Talking about nice liveries this week, we have Raf running a very fetching Spitfire livery, looking really nice. I'm not sure if he made this or if he got it off race department, but either way, looking real good. If you made that, Raf, awesome job. As now Adrian sets the second 15 of the day, and only a absolute hair's breadth. As I say that, Toxic goes even faster. Look at that! We have 5 drivers within 0.2 of a second. This is just the practice. Oh boy, this is going to be good. And here we go, TK, oh my word, with a 15.4, just blowing everyone away. This isn't even qualifying, this is just practice, so that's a super spicy time from DK there. Let's go on board with Lowy and see what he can do on his last flying lap. But yeah, the big guns are definitely out today, and of course it's not just about lap time as we saw in the open split, it's about staying out of trouble too. Doesn't matter how fast you are, if you put it on the curb and spin it, all that pace is not going to matter. How is the stream looking, everyone? Is it looking nice and smooth? I know we had some choppy frames earlier before I turned some settings down, but the game is still looking glorious for me, so I hope it all looks good your end and it's nice and smooth. And I don't think Lowy's actually on a hot lap right now. I think he is on an out lap, but we will see when he crosses the line. But oh, just perfect lines. He's on the power so early, he's so smooth. He's taking 4th gear through that final corner, and Lowy does improve with a 15.8. He's got a bit of work to do in qualifying though. If he wants to catch DK with that 15.4, he is away. As Nazim also climbs up to 14th place. I'm just wondering who's going to turn up during the qualifying now, because there are a couple big names that were going to turn up who are missing, so anything could still happen. Thank you, Gavino. You're too kind. I was saying I'm a bit sore today, my mouth hurts, so I'm like a little bit, but I'm trying my best. I'm kind of wishing I had someone with me right now, but oh well. But I tell you what, I think Adrian's going to be very happy with that practice session. He only got a couple laps in, he's behind DK by only a couple tenths, and Alan with a really good lap as well. Alan's been on a real pace train the last couple of weeks. He was blisteringly fast at Mugello all through the week last week, and I think Alan's really been in the groove. He's feeling good right now. I know he was talking about some good personal news he had, so yeah, I think Alan's looking real good today. I'd love to see him repeat that in qualifying. Commentating better than Sky Sports, oh my god. Well, yeah, there are some people in Sky Sports who I think are quite good, and some people who I don't think are that good. I'm not going to compare myself to them because they do it professionally, and also they don't have a whole bunch of mouth ulcers right now, which limits their ability to speak, but you know, I'm trying my best. I'm definitely proud of my ability to commentate competently for Assetto Corsa races. Anyway, qualifying is underway. Let's see, it's a mad rush to get out the pits. As I believe that's Jim Salabim getting out on track nice and early with his very funky looking livery. Let's have a little bit of a livery watch. We have a kind of shocking Happy Easter livery that isn't in any way demented from Jim Salabim, looking very, very spicy there. We have Zyph. I can't actually see anything. I just see a blank screen. Zyph is somehow running an invisible car. I don't know what he did to run this, but Zyf's invisible car. Maybe it will give him a speed boost. Maybe it's invisible because it doesn't weigh anything. Who knows? Dario with a... let me see. What McLaren exactly? It's a McLaren Honda, so this is going to be a... When did Senna have the 23? It was... Was it 1992 he had the 23? I'm trying to know, because... No, Honda was still in. I think this is a... I know he had the 23 at some point, because he was the number 11 in 1988. And then he was the number... No, it was 1990. Number 1990, Ayrton Senna had the 23, because Alain Prost took the number 1 to Ferrari, of course. So that is an MP46, I believe, livery from Dario, looking spiffy there. Redshift, I really like these spec skins, I have to say. They really look good in the sunshine. Lowy running a spec skin, Turtle as well, and Tommy with his great one there with his Fyodor Industries sponsored car with some hilarious legs sticking out. It looks like a can of 70s lager or a 70s backmarker F1 team with their questionable sponsors on, but nice looking car from Tommy there with the pink and green, looking very fun as always. Let's see. Lowy and Turtle, we have Tommy, we have Arbeco running a spec. Boz, ooh, Boz always makes nice liveries. But, oh no, as Boz puts it off there. But this is a throwback to his Fila-sponsored Alfa Romeo that he made for the Alfa Romeo DTM race a couple months ago. And he's also got some very Brabham-esque spikes, stripes, and Parmalat stickers. Although this could also be a 97 Arrows-inspired car, but either way, looking very sharp from Boz. Will, who's running, he's not even running a spec skin, so I don't know what the hell he did there. Adrian, of course, with his stunning Ascot Hornet livery, that really is beautiful. Pikaroshu, I don't think he submitted his livery in time. I thought he would have his usual Atlantis racing garb, but it hasn't appeared to show up. Smithy is running stock. Stefan with his last-minute Corgi livery, looking really nice. I do like these pinks and purples. Those are some nice shades from Stefan. That's a very smart, sharp-looking car. Like it very much. We have Yellow 13. Nice livery, but it looks a little bit washed out in the sun, I have to say. Maybe do some testing on track and see how it looks on track, not just in the showroom. We also have a helmet from Yellow 13 here, which looks absolutely mad. The fate of destruction is the joy of rebirth. Either way, cool looking helmet. The car would look a bit better if he'd done some work on the map file, I think, so that's going to be my critique from him. Alan running stock. Patrese running I believe, a 1995 Tyrrell. Which is a nice livery, I think. I'm a big fan of it. You have Toxic in a spec skin. Nazim running a... This is a Ligier, but I'm not sure what year. It has a Lamborghini sticker on it. I can't remember if they ran... It's Thierry Boutsen, so I think it's a 93 Ligier. When they ran those dodgy... Oh, and Nuji is subscribed with Prime. Thank you very much for re-upping, Nuji. 3 months now. Absolute king. Thank you very much for supporting Charged. But yeah, I don't know if Ligier ran that dodgy Lamborghini like W12 engine or whatever it was that was really fat and didn't work properly, but either way, nice looking livery. And we have Raf with his Spitfire inspired livery, and there's me in the pits with just a spec skin because I'm commentating. So I think we got everyone. Lowy is currently on pole with a 1:15.8, but of course there is plenty of time to go. Oh, Zyf, yet we covered him. I think we covered everyone's liveries. Anyway, back to qualifying. After the livery rundown of the day, Lowy is currently on provisional pole. Adrian not far behind, and neither is Will. Also, Jim Salabim, aka Rushby, is looking really good in 4th place. Zyf not far off as well. It's a very tight grid so far. DK has still got to get a good lap in, as has Alan and Patrese, so anything could happen. Adrian is off, so I think he's had a little binotto on his lap there. Ooh, as Toxic is hitting the wall as well. Raf is into the 16s, looking very good in his debut in Pro Split. DK with, I wouldn't call it a solid banker lap because he was 7/10 quicker in the practice session, but, you know, he's getting a move on. Who do I think will win either race and pole besides Lowy? You know what? I don't know. Lowy is very quick, of course. But I know there are some guys who are also very quick in this race who have put quite a lot of practice in, so we will see. I'm going to say it's going to be DK. You know what? DK on pole position. I'm going to say DK pole position, Lowy first, Adrian third. I think Lowy is going to win the first race, and the second race is going to be somebody else. I'm not sure, though. That's why we have Twitch gambling, of course. I know that, and Lowy's looking quick here. He's improved his time with a 1:15.3. Whew. That is really spicy. That one's going to be hard to beat, I have to say. But I know that DK and Lowy have had a lot of battling together in open wheelers in AF1 a couple seasons ago, and it was the RSS V3. And I remember Lowy saying to me during the Daytona 12 Hours, but in that series, when the races DK was in, he was really the only person that could ever even keep up with Lowy. So it'll be very interesting to see how those two get on racing together again. I know Lowy is a really big fan of DK and is looking forward to racing with him again. So, but also, you really cannot count Adrian out. Adrian doesn't always race very often, but when he races, he goes for it. So he's going to have a real good one. As Turtle has joined, of course Turtle does have a license, so he's free to join. Toxic looks like he's having some trouble though. He's well off the pace at the moment. He hasn't set a good lap and he's gone back to the pits. Jim Salabim also aborting his lap. There is 13 minutes still to go in qualifying, and there we have Dario, being the second driver to creep into the 15s. Of course, Dario is very, very quick as well. He was often one of the fastest LMP2 drivers in the Mugello practice week last week, so Dario really has some serious pace. And Adrian is looking really quick here. As he comes around the final corner, he's only a 10th. He had a purple first sector. He's only a 10th behind Lowy. What can Adrian do? And it's second place. Not quite enough for provisional pole, but that's a really good lap from Adrian. And I'm sure he's going to be kicking himself over that Sector 3. And talking about Sector 3, DK is also with a purple first sector, losing some time in Sector 2. What can DK do? And DK goes third. It's looking really close up the front now, I have to say. Both of these drivers can definitely improve, but as I say, if they're purple Sector 1s, that means Lowy could probably go faster in Sector 1 as well, so anything could happen. Whoo-wee! As Adrian's binned his lap, he's probably just gone back to the pits. 12 minutes still to go, so anything could happen. I think it's safe to say that the top four even all have their banker laps in now. I think Dario can go a bit faster. I also think Will can go faster, as can Alan. So a lot still to happen. Also, Petresi's going to be looking for some time. So he's running softs, which I don't know if that's the choice to make today. All of the quicker drivers, with the exception of DK, seem to be running the mediums in qualifying. I think the softs have some problems with overheating, as Boz does not improve on his time and remains 20th. Stefan out in 12th, looking to find some time, make some places up, as Lantern looks to have had a little bit of an off, and he's now back to the pits. And back out again. Let's have a look at Stefan. You just see where he's losing time. He's only 1/10 off in Sector 1, but 6/10 off by the end of Sector 2. As DK is also looking like he's aborted his lap, as has Dario. As Stefan, I believe he just goes to 12th. I'm not sure he made an improvement there. Petresi, the really good looking first and second sector so far, he jumps Alan, takes 6th place. Only about 7 or 8 tenths behind Lowy, so that's a pretty good time, I have to say. If you're within a second and a half of Lowy, you're doing really well as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't matter what car or what track. Turtle out there looking up to make some places as well. I don't know how many laps of practice he's done this week, but he's looking to get in it. As Turtle takes 12th place with his first flying lap, pushing Stefan down to 13th. Let's go have a look with Adrian, see what he's up to. I'm not sure if he's still on an outlap right now. Toxic also joins the 15 club with the 15.9. That's a nice lap from him. I know it's not his favourite combo this week, but still he's looking really competitive. I believe this is an outlap for Adrian, and I'll tell you what, that car ahead of him, oh, just gets a little bit over the curb there, but luckily he keeps it going. If this is Adrian's outlap, he's got to maybe clear that traffic ahead of him so he doesn't get held up on his lap. I know there was a lot of talk this week about people having drafting partners for this big old straight, because you really can. It's ridiculous. You can make up about half a second in qualifying if you have someone to draft you on this back straight. So I don't know if Adrian's maybe got himself a drafting partner, or he's looking for one, because there's definitely some time available there if you can get it done. And let's see, Adrian starts his flying lap. Let's see, oh, and as I say that, he gets on the grass. That's going to be an aborted lap, and Adrian slows down, and that's Ralph Hodgson also stopped there off the grass. Oh, hopefully everyone goes back to the pits, but that's going to be frustrating for Adrian. I know the feeling of doing an out lap and building it all up, and then the final corner when you're going to start the flying lap, or as soon as your flying lap starts, just making a mistake and binning it. It's the most frustrating feeling, especially when you spend so much time out on the track, building your tyre temps, your brake temps, managing everything, getting the car set up, building yourself space, only to then bin your lap as soon as you start it due to nerves or just a mistake. It's, when you are right on the limit in qualifying, it's just so hard to get everything hooked up and perfect. As I say that, Zyfe takes 4th place with a really confident 15.7. That's really only a hair's breadth away from Adrian and DK sitting behind Lowy, so... as I say that, Lowy has improved with a really nice lap. That's all purples, and that's a really, really great feeling. You know you're dominant when you can set an entirely purple lap, and Lowy now puts himself 2/10 clear of Adrian in 2nd place, and I think that's going to be enough from him. I'd say it would have to be a mega lap to out-qualify Lowy for pole position today. But Lowy doesn't feel he's done. He's going back out. He thinks he's obviously still got some time to find. Adrian is still in the pits. Maybe he's just having a little recollection after his little off there. Let's see. DK is out on a lap, but he's already lost 3/10 in turn 1, so this ain't going to be it, Chief. I think he's going to go around again. He's probably just looking after his tyres and getting nice and relaxed for starting his next flying lap. I'm sorry, I'm going to give it tired. Hey James, come and talk for 3 hours on your own. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll do that. And it looks like Patrese nipping some draft there from DK. I'm sure he's going to be very happy with that. Let's go on board with Patrese and see what he's up to. And he's not looking bad, I have to say. He's only 3/10 off Lowy's time right now. If he gets this lap together, it could put him in the top 5. He is currently in 9th. Patrese's a very quick boy, so an improvement here could really help him. Oh no, he's plus on his times. That's not it for Patrese. Not enough to get past Alan for 8th place. As I say that, Dario now takes 3rd place ahead of DK with a 15.5. That's a really good time from Dario. Only a couple hundredths away from Adrian in 2nd place, but I tell you what, he's got work to do right now. It's DK. He went much faster in practice than he is now. I know DK's definitely got the time in him. He's just got to get a good lap. I think he's out on a flying lap again. He's lost time in Sector 1 again. I'm not quite sure why. But yeah, when you lose 2/10 in the first sector, it's such a lot to make up of. So DK still got 6 minutes left. He can still pull something out, but maybe those softs aren't working for him. And again, he's aborted the lap, and he's just sitting there giving draft to people behind him, trying to build up some space to go around one more time. Of course, you are watching twitch.tv/ChargeSimRacing with our weekly race here at Mosport in Canada with the Tatuus FA01. This is our license split qualifying session. We have 2 splits today. We have our open split, which is for all drivers, new or old, and our license split, which is for our fastest and most experienced and best drivers. So this is the quality. This is going to be the best race on AC right now. I guarantee you there's absolutely nowhere near this many top-level drivers racing together in a set course at this moment. So you're in the right place. Bam! If you want to join in, of course, go to discord.me/charged to join in the weekly fun. We have weekly races, championships, leagues, endurance races, hot laps, other games, a whole bunch of fun stuff, banging community, friends. Love it. Join it. Support it. Embrace it. Anyway, DK is out on another lap. He's got a green Sector 1. Let's see what he can do throughout the rest of his lap. I think he's got some traffic around him, though, so that could either help or hinder him going into the following sectors. But it's just amazing looking at the top 10 within a second of each other, and that includes Lowy, so that's a absolutely marvellous performance from the whole community here, as Will looks like he's aborted his lap. Thank you very much, Ramos, for posting the Discord link in the chat. And DK, I'm not quite sure if he touched the curb there. Difficult to tell right now. We'll see as he comes across the line. Is this going to be an improvement? I don't think it will be. Again, DK's running out really wide there. It's not an improvement. He's got only 4 minutes to go. Looks like this is going to be DK's final run once he goes back to the pits. He's only going to have a couple flying laps left. I'll tell you what, if DK qualifies 4th, that would be a real disappointment. He has so much pace this week, and he was even quicker in practice, so it'd be a real shame if he misses out on getting on the front row. But right now, Adrian looking really good on the front row. If Adrian can get away and have a good start, and keep on the back of Lowy, he has a real good chance today. But I have to say, with Dario, DK, Zyph, Will, Toxic, Alan behind him, that's going to be a tall order. That's a lot of absolutely monstrously fast races. Hello, TC Cog. Thank you very much for joining us. Happy Easter. Unfortunate that you couldn't make it with us this week, but look forward to seeing you next time we race. Thank you very much for joining us. Of course, we are in now the final part of qualifying. So let's see. Redshift is out on track, looking to improve, and that's a nice lap from him, putting him in 9th place. He's 16.0. That's a fast boy lap, as Patrese looks like he's struggling a little bit. We are getting to the point of qualifying now where everyone's making their last little runs, last time to put fuel in and get an outlap, so it's now or never for a lot of these guys. Adrian is still in the pits. I don't know if he's planning on going out again. Maybe he just doesn't want to overdo it, but I think Adrian is precariously close here because there are a lot of drivers who he could end up 5th or 6th if he's not careful and doesn't try to improve. Pikaroshi was out on track as he now moves up to 20th place, getting a nice 16.8. And I have to say, it's absurd how close the grid is. It really is just insane. You know, considering there's Lowy on pole, Adrian, Dario, DK, all of these incredible drivers, and the last qualified driver is only 1.7 seconds away from the lead. That's closer than the F1 grid. That's just mad. That's a real testament to how good all these licensed drivers are and how everyone takes it seriously and really puts the effort in. So bravo to everyone on the grid today. Really good performance. And I can't wait to see you all going and giving it your best during the race. Alan's looking really quick here. Oh, but he just has a bad last sector and loses some time. That could have been a big improvement for Alan if he'd pulled that one out. Lantern still trying to find some time. He's struggling in 15th right now. As is Turtle in 16th. As Zypher aborts his lap, that might be it for him. He's only going to get one more go at it if he gets out on track. I tell you what, Adrian, if you're watching, get back out on track, man. Set a lap. Set a lap, please. I'd hate to see you lose your front row because you only set like one qualifying lap, bruh. What can Turtle do? Can he make up some time? He's setting some green sectors right now, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. This grid is so competitive. As Turtle moves up 2 places into 14th, passing Arbeker and Lantern, and that is Alan off and Dario off as well. They're going to have to be really quick if they want to turn around and get one more flying lap. And Adrian is back out on track. Adrian is back out on track. He's gone out with just enough time. He's now coming through. I think this is turn 3 and 4. He might just have time to get another lap in. I tell you what, we could be in for a big upset here if Adrian gets a lap together, or he could just insulate himself from Dario and DK, who are on the track right now. Let's have a look. Dario is in traffic, so he's not going to be on a lap. And DK, I believe, is still on his outlap as well. Oh no, DK is on a lap, and he is just the 10th down, so anything could happen here. Toxic is making moves in 5th place as well. Let's stick with DK for the remainder of his lap. Let's see what he can do. Oh, and DK has aborted his lap. That's going to be it. I'll tell you what, if he makes a move on, if he gets a move on, he could get one more flying lap. So DK is still in it. Dario is on an outlap currently. Adrian is on an outlap currently. Lowy is currently a little bit down. 1/10 down going into Sector 1. So again, anything could happen. What about Toxic? Toxic is 3/10 down, so he's probably out of it. I think Dario is just trying to find space here. He's got a lot of cars around him. He might have to lift and let that car go. And Zyph is out. That's going to be him for qualifying. And Adrian is back in the pits. I don't know why he's going back out on track. He will not get another lap. I do not know what Adrian has done. But either way, he will not get another lap. Second will be the best he can do now. It's going to be up to Dario. Dario is starting a lap, but he is in traffic. He's got Lantern right behind him and somebody else ahead of him. I can't tell quite who that is, but Dario's going to have to pull a mega lap out if he wants to pip Adrian to second place. And DK is also starting his final lap. Let's see, he's currently level with his personal best, so let's see what can he do. Oh, this is so close. DK is just a tiny bit up. Tiny bit up. He's 1/10 down on Lowy though. It's Adrian. I don't know what he's doing. Go back to the pits, man. You're done. Dario is 2/10 down. I think he's not going to improve. Oh no, and DK has caught a spinning Zyph on his lap. Oh, that's such a shame. That looks like it's over for DK. I don't think Dario is improving. He's 1/10 down on his personal best, so I don't think that's going to be enough for Dario. Unless he gets a slipstream here and does something amazing. Alan's right in front of him, so Alan might be pulling him along, but I don't think Dario's going to take a lap here. He's down again. I think this is going to be Lowy confirmed on pole with Adrian starting beside him in second place. I tell you what, starting second to Lowy is always an honour. You'd know that on any other day you were the best man, and Dario just bins it across the line. Hopefully he doesn't ruin DK's lap, but DK's lap has already been ruined anyway, so it doesn't matter. So it is going to be Lowy on pole with Adrian in second, Dario third, DK fourth, Toxic in fifth, Zyph sixth, Will Wadsworth with a great performance in seventh place. God, that grid is so close. Alan in 8th, Redshift with a really good 9th place considering I'm sure he just jumped in with no practice. He probably picked Lowy's setup, jumped in and was like, right, let's do it. Jim in 10th place, Turtle with a nice performance in 11th. Haven't seen Turtle in a weekly race. He was in the Renault race, I think, but he's been away for a month or two. Patrese in 12th, I'm sure he will be a little bit disappointed. I'm sure he could have gone a bit faster. Stefan, yeah, with 16.1. Excuse me. Stefan in 13th, Nazim in 14th. Considering again, Nazim did not do any practice, I don't think. That's a very good time. I'm hiccuping because I ate dinner. But yeah, as Ramos says, what a grid. Ooh. I was saying it earlier, you will not find a better grid of Assetto Corsa drivers anywhere live on Twitch right now other than twitch.tv/ChargedSimRacing. You have so many just top tier drivers, really amazing, talented, brilliant drivers right now. And they're probably all going to crash into each other at turn 1, so we'll see how that goes. I'm just going to take a little break and get myself a drink, and I'll be back before the race start. And we are back with 1 minute to go here on twitch.tv/ChargeSimRacing, the home of the most spiciest set of course grid anywhere on the internet that you are going to find right now. With 1 minute to go, ooh-wee. Adrian and Lowy on the front row, followed by Dario and DK, and Toxic and Zai, followed by Will and Alan, Redshift and Jim. If that's not a top 10, I don't know what is. Damn. But yeah, it's a shame that Iris isn't racing. I know that he's quite busy, and he doesn't always have time for the weeklies, but of course he is always very missed. He was very impressive during the Mugello 4 hours last week, and I believe his team with Harry Air took third place. And considering they're both two quite new drivers to Charge, they both haven't been here for very long, I was really impressed with both of them. They were really smart and in control, both of them. Anyway, with 20 seconds to go, sorry, I'm just getting back into my seat. And we have 6 lights. What's going to happen? And we are off. I think Lowy gets a clean getaway. Adrian as well, slotting nicely into second. He got a good start. DK seemed to drop back a little bit there as Dario slots into third. And already, Adrian is right on the tail of Lowy, as the tower is having a little bit of a brain fart there. I think everyone has gotten away cleanly. Tommy Ball seems to have dropped down to 23rd. I don't know if he had a little bit of argy-bargy off the start-finish line, but everyone is away. Let's go and have a look at the leaders. Lowy and Adrian and Dario and DK. Look at this train! I tell you what, if this all stays intact to the back straight, this is going to be one monster slipstreaming session. Adrian is going for it! I don't believe it! He gets a look in on Lowy! What happened? And Adrian has taken the lead. I don't believe it. Adrian has passed Lowy. There might have been some funny goings on there, but it looked like Adrian did a bit of a dive bomb on Lowy, but he is through. I think really Adrian just sent it there when he probably shouldn't have done, and Lowy hesitated, but Lowy is already back on him and slipstreaming side by side going into turn 1. DK has also passed Dario, but it is just a huge train of cars. Look at this. I tell you what, hold your breath for the next couple corners because anything could happen. Adrian commands the inside and he is really racing Lowy with absolutely no respect. Oh my god, and they touch wheels. Adrian's there saying, I don't care who you are or how many world records you have, I'm going to absolutely go for it. And they are side by side still, and DK is coming up the inside, going to make it 3 wide. Oh my word, I think DK has done it. Oh, but DK is spun and he's crashed. Oh, I don't believe it. DK has wiped out everyone. Oh, that is so heartbreaking. We've lost Zyfe, we've lost Toxic, we've lost DK, we've lost Lantern, Yellow 13, Adrian. Oh, that was a really, really bad move, unfortunately. That was just way too much. That whole first lap was very overexcited from a couple of these guys, but I don't know if DK had the space to get that move done, but unfortunately that's pretty much gifted the win to Lowy. That's a real shame. We had one lap of great racing there, and it's all been spoiled, unfortunately. That leaves now Dario in second place, who managed to... Dario, Alan, and Patrese is up to 5th already, after everyone ahead of him being wiped out. That's a real shame there. I'm not sure what happened, but that just looked like a move that was never going to work out, unfortunately. As Patrese is now up to 4th place, passing Will. Oh, I tell you what, I just feel like all the air's been sucked out of the room now. Oh, we had such a brilliant fight gearing up. You know what, I almost want to hit restart, you know. I have the server commands, I want to do it. Give me a restart. Give me that fight. Give me Adrian, DK, and Lowy. This is bullshit. No, I couldn't do that. That would be an extreme abuse of my power if I had that. I have been trusted with the server commands for helpful uses, not my own personal whims. Anyway, Lowy is sitting in 1st place, Dario is in 2nd, Patrese is battling with Alan and Will currently for 3rd. That's where all the moves going on. Reverse grid will be spicy, but at the same time, I would have loved the main race to be spicy as Arbeker is off, but luckily he's kept control of the car and he's rejoining the track nice and safely, looking good. It's a very smart, sensible rejoin and made the incident as small as it could have been. There's lots of trading places going on as it doesn't want to let me change the auto camera, but yeah, Jim and Will Wadsworth are having a huge train of cars right here. I mean, Will is now drafting back behind Jim. What can he do? Adrian is working his way back up. He's passed Turtle already into 9th place. Ooh, Jim is really being tight with Will there. He's saying, nope, you gotta try harder next time. Stefan is off. Oh no, and that's a big earth for the Corgi, unfortunately. And Stefan with a terrible rejoin. What is he doing? Oh my word, who did he just murder there? As Stefan just absolutely murders Matara. That is horrific from Stefan. What are you doing? What are you doing, man? I think that might be Stefan's first DSQ from a charge race happening there. Woof. Not good. Either way, Yellow 13 and Zyph trading places. Of course, Zyph is one of those big losers. Yeah, Stefan had a big gamer moment. Zyph is one of the big losers from that massive crash at the end of lap 1, so he's now going to be doing his best to fight back up. But yeah, that was a big gamer moment from Stefan there, so we'll have a look at it later, but yeah, we'll have to see. Patrese doing a banging job right now in 3rd place. I have to say, I bet Patrese did not expect him to be in 3rd place after his qualifying session, but he stayed out of trouble and he's kept it clean, and I've said all week, this race will not be decided by pace, it will be decided by who stays out of trouble. Whew. As Zyph and Yellow 13 are looking really close here, going up on Turtle. There's almost a Dutch boy sandwich going on there. That sounds wrong. But yeah! And Toxic is now getting up in the mix as well. Or running a bit wide through the exit of turn 1. You can just about do that. You don't gain any time, but it's really hairy. This car has such low ground clearance. Jumping back over that curb, it's a really scary moment. Your car becomes a missile. You have no control. It's the same thing that if you go on the grass with this car, you just lose all control altogether. Anyway, following their crash at the start, DK is in 14th, and I can just tell, you know, when that happens, when you're in the lead and you're up the front and you have a big crash that puts you all the way down, it's very easy to lose focus on the race and you just get disconnected. And DK's moving on, but I don't think he's making up places too quickly at the moment. His tyres are going to be hurting off that race. His pride's going to be hurting off that crash as well, so I'll have to see if DK gets back in focus for the end of the race. Adrian is already back up to 7th, and he's closing up on Jim and Will. He does have the pace, but also I know Adrian's going to be feeling so dejected after having that crash on the first lap. He had one lap of, as I said earlier, he was absolutely, when he was racing with Lowy, he did not care at all. He was like, I don't care who you are, how fast you are, how quick your reputation is, I'm going to give it everything. And Adrian did give it everything, and it was a little bit hairy, but they kept it clean until DK lost control, and then it all fell down from there, unfortunately. Patrese is currently sitting in 3rd, looking nice and calm right now. He's just putting the laps in. Although I will say Dario is keeping up with Lowy. We're 5 laps in, and the gap is less than a second, so Dario is doing a really good job. Of course, Dario is an incredibly quick driver as well, and he's just keeping the pace on Lowy, but it's a shame that Lowy kind of got gifted a gap by that huge crash happening behind him. Hopefully maybe Dario can keep on it and stick on the back of Lowy and maybe have a chance at him for the end of the race. And I have to say Patrese as well, within 4 seconds of Lowy after 5 laps, that's a damn good performance from him. Alan looking really good in 4th place too. As Toxic is getting really close to Yellow 13 now, but he's got Lantern behind him. What is Lantern going to do? They go side by side, and Toxic managed to make it stick with the wide line there, just carrying the speed. Lantern's looking a little bit out of shape in these final corners, especially with the dirty air coming from the car ahead of you. It's really hard to keep the car grippy. I mean, these tyres are not very good on this Tatuus. They are a bit crappy, and it's very easy to lose control and slide about a little bit if you push the tyres past their limit. They also do heat up quite quickly if you're not careful. That can really creep up on you. As Adrian is making his charge back up the grid, and he's now closing up on Jim. Is he going to do the same thing he did to Lowy and go for the absolute move? He is, and Adrian with a really late braking move there, and he's pulled it off. I don't believe it. I have to say, I wouldn't be doing that move myself. That's a scary move, and if Jim took his line there, he'd have precedent, because there's no overlap when Adrian was going for that move there, but I guess Jim knew he wasn't going to hold Adrian off forever, so he just let him go. But Adrian's got 2.5 seconds to get on the back of Will. He could, if he keeps the pace up, could get back on the podium, ready for race 2, but anything could happen, you never know. Lantern is down currently, or just doesn't have the room there to get behind Redshift, but he's carrying the momentum through the second part of this 3-corner sequence. Lantern's just, he had a little bit of a wobble there, and he's just dropped back, and he's now has DK breathing down his neck, so I think DK's finally woken up and back in the race. He's got to get past Lantern and Redshift. And Lantern, Redshift and Toxic, that's not the 3 easiest drivers to pass. So DK's got his work cut out, I have to say. I definitely, if I was either him or Adrian, I'd prefer to be Adrian right now with the drivers ahead of him. I think he's got a bit of a pace advantage over those guys, and he should be back up there within a lap or two. Stefan's race is just going from bad to worse. He's had another spin. He is now 23rd and last. I think this is definitely not Stefan's day today, unfortunately. Sad corgi noises. Tommy Ball is currently in 19th. He's got Smithy and Nazim ahead of him behind him. Adrian doesn't seem to have gapped Zyph and Jim just yet, although Zyph and Jim are both moving up, I have to say. They are getting further and further up the grid as Adrian doesn't seem to have had the best lap that time round. It was a 16.3. He's got to find a little bit of time if he wants to start catching up to Will, Allen and Patrese. I'd say Patrese really doing an amazing job right now, holding down third. I know he was saying in the week he wasn't too confident about qualifying, but his race pace was looking smooth, and Patrese's one of the cleanest and most consistent guys. I have to say, Patrese and Stefan's team in the Magellan 4 Hours Corgi Racing were the only team that went the entire 4 hours with not a single contact with another car or the wall or the track or anything like that. They drove the whole race without a single even minor crash, and that is in a 4-hour endurance race in a lobby full of some cars that really were a bit hairy. That's in an overtaking class. That is incredible, and I have to say something happened there, and Patrese is now ahead of Dario. I'm not sure if Dario had a little mistake. He's lost a massive amount of time. Dario was only about a second away from Lowy. I think he had a little bit of a wobble, and they are now side by side. Patrese is now looking like he might be in second place. I think Dario has just defiantly held him off there, but Patrese is not too far off at all. As I say that, Will has also got past Alan and has now put 3/10 on him. As Redshift and Yellow 13, and Yellow 13 just turns in on Redshift and wipes them both out. That's a shame. I think Yellow 13 just didn't leave him enough room there, and Redshift's managed to rejoin the track okay, and I think he got off a little bit better. But oh no, Yellow 13 is now spinning, and he's now been collected by, I think, Pika Roshu, and that's going to be a bad rejoin for Yellow 13. Redshift looks like he's lost some momentum as well, so some bad rejoins here from some guys who should really know better today, but that's a real shame. I think that crash there, Yellow 13, just didn't leave Redshift enough room, as Will is also off. Not sure what happened there. He'd just gotten ahead of Alan. That's quite an unusual place to crash, so I think Will might have just overcooked it. And he's now lost 8th place to Toxic as well. That's really going to hurt Will. Patrese is now only a couple tenths off Dario as they go up the hill. Will he get the slipstream? It's a little bit too far back, I think. You've got to be a little bit closer to really feel the effect on these cars, but if he moves up, he could get side by side going into this fast right-hander. Who knows? I think he's going to run out of space. Patrese takes a really nice line. Really wide entry, but a little bit wobbly on the gears. I think if Dario can recover his confidence, he should be able to pull back away and retake that second. I tell you what, I bet I know who's disappointed, and I bet that's Lowy. I think he's a bit lonely in first place right now. I think he was hoping for a really good battle with Adrian and DK, but after that crash on the first lap, unfortunately, it just spoiled any chance of that. Oh, it was Pika Roshu. I had no idea what happened there. There's dead cars everywhere, and that is a complete mess. We've got Smithy, we've got Tommy Ball, we've got Boz. Not sure what happened there. I saw someone going slowly and then some cars wobbling about, so let's have a look at that one. Adrian is Still not really catching up to Alan, I have to say, and Zyfe is really quite close to him, so we could see a battle between these two. I think 5th is probably the highest Adrian's going to go today. I can't see him catching up to Alan with only 6 minutes to go. There is a gap of 3 seconds, and Zyfe is in the slipstream right now, and Zyfe, of course, was one of the few drivers that did this race last year when Charge was only a couple weeks old, so he's got experience with this combo, he's got experience with this race, he knows how to handle it, so... Of course, as I was saying, it is the 1 year anniversary of Charge this week. It was almost exactly a year ago to the day that we had our first ever event. And oh, Adrian is sliding! And that's it. That's going to be it for these two, I think. Oh, that's a real shame. Adrian was already gone, and I think by the time Zyfe made contact, there really wasn't anything they could do. So, oh, that's such a shame for Adrian as Zyfe loses a place to Jim. But Jim, I have to say, again, one of these guys who's just kept it clean, kept their head cool. No, that wasn't Zyfe's fault. Adrian was already spinning by that point. He'd already lost the car, and the gap was so minor, Zyfe could not react in time, I don't think, at least from my first impression. Lantern getting past Turtle into 11th place. That's looking like a pretty solid finish for Lantern right now. Again, he's managed to stay out of trouble. Zyfe is now closing back up on Jim. He wants that 5th place back after getting a little bit tangled up with Adrian losing the car in front of him last lap. Zyfe is now quite confidently passing Jim. He's going to be on the outside though. Is he going to make it stick? Oh, and Jim really doesn't leave Zyfe enough room there, and they almost come to contact, but Zyfe lets his cooler head prevail, and I think he's going to keep this place now, as he does. And DK is past Will Wadsworth into 9th place. So DK is slowly but surely making his comeback, and he's now behind Adrian, of course, the driver who we had contact with on lap 1. So we might get to see a nice battle between those two towards the end, but I think both of them are going to have pretty screaming tyres after the contact and spins. Oh, and something has happened to Dario. Dario is off. I don't believe it. Oh, it happened earlier on in the race, and it looks like it's happened again as Dario, a little bit excitable with the rejoin there, but luckily everyone makes it through, and I don't believe it. Patrese and Alan are up to 2nd and 3rd place. Again, these guys have just had really quiet races. They've stuck out of trouble as Dario also falls behind Toxic. Oh, that's such a shame. You know, it goes to show, like I said, with the exception of Lowy, this race has not been about pace. It's been about keeping out of trouble. Just banging in the consistent lap times, looking after your fuel, staying out of trouble, not taking any risks when it comes to wheel-to-wheel. Talking about risks, I have to say, Adrian is now having a look on Dario. What's he going to do here? He's got the slipstream, and ahead of them, Toxic and Jim are side-by-side as well. This is a huge 4-car train going into this fast right-hander, which has been so decisive for positions this week. I think Adrian's just going to cleanly hold them off, but he's now got Toxic and Jim just ahead of him. DK is off. And I think that's it for DK. Wonder if he can rejoin safely, but I think at this point his race is lost. And Dario is off again. I'm not sure what happened there. But again, some really good drivers just having some problems today. DK is still off the track. He's just taking his time to rejoin. He hasn't got anyone near him. That's going to be it in race 1 for DK. All he has to do is just finish. And he's got a good place for race 2. As Dario's still losing places. I think he's just completely cooked his tyres at this point. He now has R. Baker on him and Lantern ahead of him, so whoops, something's happened. Oh, and there's been contact. I think that is Raf and Boz have some contact, and Raf is round, but luckily he's out of trouble. Turtle is also off. Let's see what happened there. Turtle is well in the grass, and that's again a bit of a scary rejoin. Will is also off. I don't know if he was next to Adrian when that happened, or if he spun on his own, but ooh. A lot of action happening. I said I predicted it, that the pro split was going to be crashier than the open split, and it definitely has been. Adrian is now side by side with Jim. I think he's going to manage to hold him off. Can he get a move on Toxic though for that last place? Only 2 minutes left to go. As DK has now fallen behind Smithy, and Raf is also in trouble. I think that might be Raf out, and Yellow 13 is also off again. When you get towards the end of the race, your tyres just go, and unfortunately some guys just can't hold it together anymore. Oh, poor Raf is still off the track. I hope he takes his time and rejoins sensibly. He's got a big train of cars coming. Maybe it's best if he just pulls off and goes back to the pits. Just take your time, lad. You can go now. Clean air. Go, go, go. Anyway, Nazim chilling in 17th place. Haven't seen much of him this race, I have to say. Oh, as I say that, he puts it on the grass. Whew. Be careful, lad. A very wild race indeed, yeah. Absolutely well. There's a lot of really fast guys all going for it. This combo does lead to crashes, and as I say that, R Baker just kind of shoves Lantern out the way. I do not think Lantern will be happy about that. It's cost him 2 places. I think R Baker was just a bit aggressive there. But yeah, a lot of fast guys going for places this week, and Tatuus just does lend itself to crashes. It's a very kind of... It's slow, it's kind of... You all run the same pace, it's unstable, it's got skinny tyres, it's light as hell. Unfortunately, you just do crash these things. I guess that's why student drivers race these Formula 4 cars, because, you know, if you cannot stop crashing this car, you're not going to have a very successful career. As we have about 30 seconds to go, let's just check in on our leader. We have Lowy, who has been, since that lap 1 scuffle at the end of the first lap, Lowy has been completely unbothered, I have to say. For a while, Dario stuck within a second of him, but I'm sure Lowy was just managing the gap, and it's a real shame to see his only competition really taken out at the first lap. But of course, you know, everyone wants to go for it. Adrian and DK were both going for it, and I still don't know what happened exactly, but for whatever reason, there was a huge crash. I think that is Lowy coming up to lap yellow 13. Anyway, in the license split feature race here at Mosport in the Tatuus, it is going to be Lowy who takes the victory. The completely unmatched drive. Lowy was very, very chill out in front. He had no bother today, other than that first lap when he was being really aggressively sent by Adrian and really pushed by DK. After they ended each other's race, I think that Lowy just had to look after himself and bring it home. Hopefully he will have a bit more competition in the second race, but the real chad of the race is going to be Patrese, who takes a fantastic second place. I think he qualified like 12th or something. Brilliant result from him. Alan with a great third. Zyph is the king of recoveries today after being caught up in that first lap crash. He brings it home to 5th place. Toxic with a 4th place. Sorry, Toxic with a 5th place again. Not his best rate, not his best combo this week, but that's a really clean drive from him. Adrian, unfortunately, just got caught up in too much drama this week, but he's brought the car home in 6th. Jim also with a really good result in 7th. Dario again just couldn't keep out of trouble. He had so much pace, but I think he just overcooked the car. R Baker in 9th. Will Wadsworth again, fast driver, but just couldn't stay out of trouble in 10th. Lantern with a respectable 11th. Redshift in 12th. Turtle 13th, Smithy 14th, Tommy in 15th, a decent result for him, I have to say. Nazim in 16th, DK, again, I think it was just his race was over. It never really got going, I have to say, after that first lap. I don't think he could recover. Matara 18th, Pikaroshu 19th, Boz 20th, Yellow 13 had some trouble towards the end. Stefan with a really rough race for him. I'm sure he can get his composure together for the reverse grid, and Raf also just had some trouble in 23rd. Don't be, dude, it's fine. I have to say that was a tough race for a lot of people, so just get out there and clear your head and get back out there for the next race. If your rear tyres are dead, it will be quicker to take a pit stop and it will be to drive on dead tyres and spin, so don't be afraid of using the pits. Anyway, I'm just getting comfy in my chair. Oh dear. I would do interviews, but to be honest, I don't feel like it. I'll maybe do some after the second race. Anyway, you are watching twitch.tv/ChargeSimRacing. Great recovery drive from Zyph, I have to say. After that crash right at the start, you were definitely the best recovery driver of that whole group. It's such a shame because pretty much Loey's entire competition was eradicated in one move. You guys had one lap of amazing racing, and it really looked spectacular. But then just after that, it all just got balked. Oh wait, As we now are counting down, we have just under 4 minutes to go until the start of race 2. You are, of course, watching twitch.tv/ChargeSimRacing. We are here with our Charged 1 year anniversary event. I can't believe it's been a whole year. Sim racing fun, crashes, community fun, liveries, arguing over crashes, chilling, endurance racing, winning, losing, a whole bunch of fun. It's been a fantastic year at Charged, and I'm so glad each and every one of you has been here to go along with the ride with us. Of course, it's me, your boy, the Flat Earth Mum, Flat Daddy, Flat Baby, Flat Gang, Flat Boy, aka James. I'm now quite tired. We got one more race to go. I'm sorry. I've been at it for 3 hours. I feel like my blood sugar is dropping. I'm kind of I'm going to sit back and relax for this last one. Ooh, yeah. So, of course, we do have the reverse grid race. We have Raf and Stefan on the front row. I think Stefan's going to look for an opportunity to nab that early lead and run away and build himself up some gaps. I have to say, I know that Loey is the absolute reverse grid race hero, and in all of these races, you look at it and it's like you have an impossible number of drivers to pass. And he somehow does it, but I really think Loey has it all out for him today if he wants to end up, 5th or 6th by the end of lap 1. DK will start in 7th place. He is going to be definitely the favourite for this race. He's got some drivers ahead of him who are definitely slower than him, so I think he will tear through that starting grid if he can keep it clean and keep out of trouble. Adrian as well has a nice bit of a buffer between him and Lowe, but he's also got some speedy guys ahead of him who he's going to have to work his way past if he wants to make his way up to the front of the grid. I think DK will win this reverse grid race and Lowe will be second. I think by the time Lowe catches up, DK will be already gone. But of course, as we can see... anything can happen in a set of course, or especially a combo as wild as this. DDX Shadow is commenting on my late night DJ voice. I'm currently sitting back in my chair and I have a pillow behind my head, so it's like it's closing in my microphone a little bit, making it sound a bit more intimate. Also, my voice is kind of getting a little bit hoarse, so I'll maybe take it easy on the shouting. Also, as I said, I have like 3 mouth ulcers right now, and it's the evening, and that's when they start to hurt. So, give me a break. Anyway, it's 40 seconds to go. I think this will be Raf will have some experience in leading races after his brilliant drive at Magello last week. Let's see if he can hold off Stefan and Yellow 13 and Boz and Pikaroshi for the first couple of laps. We'll see how it goes. Sorry, my ice cubes are clinking. Let's get ready to rumble. Here we go. 10 seconds to go. Raf will start on pole. I'm sure Stefan is going to be absolutely hounding him off the line. I know Stefan has a clutch pedal. Raf doesn't, so watch out for Stefan here on the start. DK will also be looking to make up as many places as he can. And lights are out and we are off. What's going to happen? Raf is currently still in the lead. As we're watching Pikaroshi get through turn 1 nice and clean. It's all looking good so far. Everyone stayed out of trouble as far as I can see. And Stefan is really, really close to Raf, and there's almost a bit of contact. Yellow 13 is running wide. Everyone's running wide there. Yellow 13 is just hanging on. Raf is still in the lead. Stefan's bouncing over the curbs. That is Boz going up into second place as well. Oh, and that's someone spinning round. That's been a huge crash. I think that's... Oh my god. And they're all off. There's been a huge crash. And Dario barges back onto the track into Toxic. And Adrian is off again. Lantern is off again. I saw someone spinning. Someone U-spin me right rounding. And they are just all off. And unfortunately, that's going to be it. Lowy has made it through. He's into 16th. He avoided the carnage. There's more carnage going on right now. There's Turtle and... oh my god, everyone's jumping about. Patrese is off. Oh, Zyph is off. It's just a mess. Unfortunately, we have had a classic patented reverse grid just mess here, and that's a real shame to see Patrese and Zyph all the way down in last after brilliant first races. DK is already up to 4th, and he is in absolutely no mood to hang about. Raph is doing a great job hanging on to first place, I have to say. Boz is hassling Stefan right now as well, so anything could happen. Jim is off. And I said it wasn't going to happen, but Lobby is already up to 13th. He's managed to just duck and dive and stay out of the way of all the maniacs. And Jim driving across the track like a maniac there. Whew-wee. It was not a good rejoin at all. DK is right up on them. Let's just see, is he going to be patient and wait, or is he going to absolutely demolish these guys? Raph doing a great job in first place, just like I taught my boy. Let's see. Wasn't T1, but it was close enough. But yeah, not the cleanest start to that race there. I'm not sure what happened. I saw one car spinning and then everyone got collected. I mean, these cars run so close to each other and everyone's so eager to make moves on lap 1. It just does happen. Nazim is past Pikaroshi for 7th place, and DK still waiting to get behind bars. I think he's just waiting to pick his moments. Oh, and something has happened. Redshift is off, and Pikaroshi is off as well. And Redshift is absolutely being a maniac and reversing into Will. What is he doing, lad? That was completely absurd. And they are battling to get back on the track. I think they've got back cleanly there, but I don't know what Redshift was doing there. Whew. That was a bit of a woof-woof move there. So Matara and Yellow 13 are going side by side. Yellow 13 avoids making the mistake he made earlier where he didn't leave enough room and ended up wiping himself out on someone's car. Matara is through to 5th. DK is still behind Boz. I think he's just really taking his time. He knows he can pass these guys. He knows he's so much quicker. He just doesn't want to get taken out doing a wild move. Let's see what's DK going to do about it now. Boz is not leaving him any room around the outside. DK just patiently waits and goes back at it another time. And I have to say, Raph is only 1.6 seconds up ahead, so he's not running away from the pack, but he's definitely doing a good job of holding on to the lead. Stefan is also doing his best to keep on in 2nd place, but Boz is absolutely being a star right now, battling with these guys. Oh, as I say that, Stefan is on the grass, but he holds it off, and Boz is going to get the move on the inside here. No, he just backs out, and I think DK is going to be in. Oh, and Raph has spun. Raph has spun in the lead, and he is off the track now. That's such a shame for Raph, and Raph has disconnected. Oh, poor lad. That has now gifted the lead to Stefan. Oh, poor thing, Raph. Unfortunate to see you, DC. But if you aren't feeling it, you aren't feeling it. There's no point trying to force a race. It's not going to happen. But as I say that, Stefan is now in the lead. What can DK do about Boz? He's been so patient these last 2 laps. Lowy's already up to 7th. Lowy's already won the mini championship, I have to say. Oh, and Stefan getting really deep in that final corner. DK, Boz is just not letting him pick a line there. So Boz is doing some good defensive driving, but DK's going to have a look around the outside of turn 1 now. I don't think he's got the move just yet. I think this is all just DK just waiting, but he's now got it. Almost certainly he will overtake Boz through this fast left-hander. Boz runs wide, but he's still in it, but I don't think he's going to get the move done. You would be a very, very brave or foolish man to attempt to outbrake DK. But, oh, he's running him onto the grass. DK will not be happy about that. He is still stuck behind Boz as the low polygon crowd throw their hands up. Oh, and DK makes touch with Boz on the inside there. This is getting a little bit too hot for these guys, and Matara is now on the inside. DK's fighting for the inside line here. He squeezes Matara a little bit, but Lowy is now behind DK. He'll be almost pushing him as Lowy looks to thread the gap. There's more crashing going on behind. I tell you what, I am not looking forward to stewarding this race right now. Lowy is just completely splitting the gap between these two. I think DK's opportunity to win this race has been lost by being held up by Boz for too long. DK's now on the grass. He's going 3 wide around the outside. I'm scared this is not going to end well. I think something has happened. No, it hasn't. Lowy and Matara have managed to keep it clean. I thought Lowy and Matara made contact there for a second, but they don't. Matara running a little bit off the track there, but staying ahead of Lowy again. All these fast guys are just being patient and picking their moment, and we have some extremely defensive driving from the likes of Matara and Boz going on. Stefan is now in the lead. He has a 1.7 second gap. He's managed to hold Boz off, and Boz is still going strong, I have to say, as Adrian gets past Arbeker into 10th place. Tommy's having some trouble in 20th. Looks like he's off. Whoo-wee! What a low drama. And I think DK has finally squeezed past Matara now. They are still side by side, and again Matara is saying, I don't care who you are, I'm going to fight you as hard as I want. It's great to see some of these top, real top racing drivers getting a good fight from some people today. But I think DK should be clear now. Lowy has had no trouble getting past Boz, who managed to hold DK up for quite a few laps, but he's on the outside. I don't know if Boz has a little bit more gear, a little bit less wing, but he's holding on here. And Lowy quite confidently takes the place there. He's just got the grip and the line, so Lowy will take second. He's now going to be after Stefan. Oh, dear. Oh, Tommy's still having trouble. He's still going backwards, I think, so he's just got to get himself back on. But there are cars. No, there are no cars coming, so he is fine. Dario is making a move back up into... Turtle is off. Not sure what happened to Turtle, but he is now fallen all the way down to 14th. That's Alan looking really good as well. Passes Matara, but Matara gives him a little bit of a rub. Alan says no thank you. I think Dario was another one of those drivers who was involved in the crash right at the start, so good to see him fight his way back up to 8th place. As Alan says, oh, and Alan jumps the curb, and Boz has to kind of avoid him there, and Matara also having to be a little bit squeezed. Alan is sitting right on the back of Boz. He's going to have a great opportunity to do some slipstreaming here. Although he's a little bit too close, he's going to give Boz a bump draft, as Alan gives him a bump. Go on, give me a bit more time so I can draft you, he says. There's a huge 3 wide train of cars going on behind. 4 wide even. This is going to be absolutely scary. Let's see. Is everyone going to keep it clean? Alan gets to move down around the outside, but behind them, oh, and that's Adrian is off. Big off from Adrian. Oh, and I think he just pushed it too far. He's come back onto the track, but luckily he stayed out of trouble. That's good. He didn't rejoin unsafely, but whoo-wee. I tell you what, a 15.7 from Lowy. He is absolutely steaming it, and he will catch up to Stefan almost certainly on this lap. Unfortunately, Lowy has just not been given any competition today. That is a little bit of a shame, I have to say. It would have been a nice opportunity to show Lowy the best Charge has to offer, but it's just not been the day today, unfortunately. He remains unchallenged for the crown of greatest living Assetto Corsa driver. Well, I hope he comes to race with us again, and we can hopefully offer you a bit more of a contest. Toxic and Dario is again a huge train of cars here in the mid-pack. There is a whole lot of action going on in the mid-pack. When you get these giant slipstream trains, oh god damn it! When you get these giant slipstream trains, it's kind of hard to make any progress because everyone ahead of you. As I say that, Will is passing Turtle for 17th. I'm not quite sure what happened to Will that put him so far down on the grid. He must have had some trouble as well. Dario and Boz are trading places. Like, I hate how AutoCam switches to a battle for 16th and we miss a battle for 5th. Like, come on, bro. Oh, and Boz almost running out of room there, but luckily he keeps his cool. Oh, and a little bit of a wiggle, but Boz keeps the car going while Dario gets through. I have to say, good driving for Boz today, but Matara is off. He's losing some ground, but he's still going, unfortunately. As Lowy is right on the back of Stefan right now. Let's see what can Lowy do. I think this might be the first time that Stefan's raced. Oh no! And the commentator's curse strikes again, and Stefan is just completely off. That is such a shame. Oh, rough day for Stefan, unfortunately. At least he got to lead for half the race, but it's a shame again he didn't get to give Lowy a good battle. Alan is now up to 3rd place. DK is in 2nd. You know what? The real hero of today is Alan, I think. Sorry. After his great 3rd place in the first leg of the race, I think Alan might be on for the overall 2nd place today, behind Lowy. Unfortunately, Petresi is still in 16th after getting wiped out at the start of race 2. And of course, DK is in 2nd, but he had a really rough race 1, so... As Toxic and Dario are trading places, as are Nazim and Smithy for 9th and 10th. Thank you very much, El Cubero Elgante. Excuse my pronunciation. I hope you're having a good old time watching the stream. Make sure you're on discord.me/charged if you want to take part in any of these races or just join the community. And you can subscribe to twitch.tv/charged sim racing for quality sim racing content every single week. We have weekly races, endurance races, championships, leagues, hot laps, a whole bunch of cool stuff. Definitely check it out. We've got free roam. Bam! Anyway, as we were saying, yeah, Dario is hanging on the back of Stefan now, looking for that 4th place. Nice to see Dario having a good recovery after a rough race 1. Zyph and Matara trading places in 13th and 14th as well. Oh, a big train of cars here. There's Will, there's Jim, there's Patrese, there's a whole bunch of guys in here. Let's hope they can keep it clean. This is going to be really exciting as Matara just sends it, absolutely wiping out Zyph. That was a really poor move. Oh, no. Oh, nice. Well, thank you for joining us. I'm not quite sure who your Discord or in-game name is, but oh, Zyph is going to be fuming about that. That was just a poor move from Matara. That was never going to happen. He was not there. That was just a really just late and silly move from what I could see. Again, I'm sure the stewards will have their work cut out dealing with all the incidents in this race. I have to say, the license split guys definitely showing themselves up a little bit this week. A lot of really silly crashes. As Toxic is having a little bit of a trouble. I thought it looked like there for a second that he got ahead of Adrian and then dropped back, and he's now looks to have got some cooked tyres and is struggling a little bit. Dario still pounding on in 4th place. Boz, oh no, Boz is out. Boz is round after a really, really good race. He was holding on that reverse grid for such a long time, and now Boz has unfortunately bent it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate those comments, dude. Thank you so much. I'm really glad that all the work we put into Charged makes the product good. Oh, poor Boz is all the way down to last right now, and I don't know if he's going to continue. As I say that, my cat has just entered the room, so she's going to be meowing at me for the last 7 minutes of the stream. Let's go on to Dario. Oh, no. Come on, Autocam. As Dario and Alan are now fighting for position for that final podium spot. I'll tell you what, if Alan can get a double podium today, I bet he will be absolutely delighted. He's had a really good race today. Stayed out of trouble. Oh, you know what? I'm turning Autocam off. I don't like it. Dario manages to keep the position, holding Alan off for another lap. But of course, there are 7 minutes still to go. Anything could happen. As we saw in race 1, Dario seemed to eat up his tyres by the end of the race. Tracy and Will are also doing battle here right now. Oh, we got some more offs. We've got Jim in the wall, and we've got Toxic also having some trouble. It's definitely not Toxic's week today. As Nazim and Will are side by side now. I've run out of steam. I'm sorry, everyone. That daylight savings has hit me hard, bro. And Nazim and Will having a really good battle here. Oh, Toxic is off again. It's just all gone wrong for Toxic, unfortunately, today. Alan is back ahead of Dario. It's kind of hard to keep up with all these battles, I have to say. And I think Dario, again, it looks like he's just lost pace. It might be his tyres just not working for him. Arbeker is now up into 5th place behind Stefan, and these guys are really, really close. I think Arbeker's going to come back in the draft, and Stefan's going to come back in the draft and go after Arbeker going into this fast right-hander. And I think he's got the move done. That was a smart bit of driving from Stefan. He just hung back, got himself back in the draft and took it over. Lots of places trading hands here as Will has got back ahead of Nazim and Lantern ahead of Patrese. Arbeker is not giving up, though, on the fight for 5th place. Alan with a stonking 16.4 there, a really good lap, just trying to cement that 3rd place ahead of Dario. I tell you what, if Alan gets a double podium this week, he will be absolutely ecstatic. Oh, Will and Patrese getting too close for comfort there. I think having to avoid contact there is just making Will run a little bit wide. But the fight is still on. Patrese was great in the first race, getting that 2nd place. Let's see if he can get back on Will, as Lantern and Smithy are also trading places. Lantern's looking good in the top 10, I have to say. He's had 2 top 10s. I know he was... Oh, and Adrian is off again. Oh, it's just not been Adrian's week, unfortunately. He's been so fast, of course. You catch Adrian in an open wheeler and he is near untouchable. I mean, the only man quicker than him in qualifying was Lowy. And I think Adrian's just maybe his setup's been a bit too pointy, or he's just had some bad luck. But Adrian's been A little bit anonymous in both of these races, results-wise, unfortunately. Hopefully, next time we do an open wheel race and he's free, we can get him back in it. It's Alan with a 16.3. He is really quick right now, and he's holding off Dario with 4 minutes to go. Alan could get this double podium. Oh, Boz is having more trouble, unfortunately. Boz is off again. I think that might be it for him. At this point, I just say go back to the pits, man. Don't do it. Don't rejoin. Petrozzi setting 16.2s in 10th place, lighting up the timing board as Pika Roshu is battling with Jim Salabim, losing a place there. He must have run a little bit wide or something. Tell you what, I'm going to stick with the battle before 3rd place between Dario and Alan right now, because I think that's where it's all going to kick off. As they come onto the back straight now, Dario is within draft of Alan. Dario has the outside. Is he confident enough to get the move done? Alan could leave him a bit less room if he wanted to. Alan's being very polite. And I think Dario will get the move done here. He just gets the superior line. I think Alan could have been a bit more defensive with his line there, but that's not his style. Alan is, of course, the supreme gentleman racer. But is Alan giving up his 3rd place, though? He's got 3 minutes. He's got about 3 laps left to go. Can he nab that 3rd place back? I know he wants that double podium. Smithy and Lanson are still trading places. These guys are having a fantastic battle. As are Redshift and Turtle. Yeah, DDX Shadow's going to have VOD to remember watching back, taking his win in the reverse grid race. He had a really good race, I have to say. Oh, and Smithy and Lanson just make a touch there, but they keep it all going as Adrian is now in for the pounce, and Lanson really aggressively defends his line there, and Smithy unfortunately loses out. Oh, but Will is off. No, Lanson is off, sorry. Lanson is off. I think he just ran out of grass there, and now Adrian is pushing Smithy really hard. Oh, there was a big lag spike there, if I'm not mistaken. Turtle is also off. Alan is back ahead of Dario. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but they are really going for it. I think Dario just had a bad run coming out of the hairpin, but he is now attempting to do the same move they did last lap, but he gets it done again. There's 2 minutes to go. Can Alan hang on to the back of him and try and force another mistake from Dario? Once again, Lowy is unchallenged in 1st place with DK 10 seconds behind him. Again, such a shame that no one could bring the fight to Lowy a bit better today, but you know, sometimes these things just happen. Sometimes front runners get crashed into and the battle goes. Alan is just not giving up on this fight for 3rd place. We will get at least one more lap after the one that we're on, so he's still got time. And they are side by side. Alan is just not giving up. He's giving Dario everything he's got. Oh, but he's not quite close enough this time coming onto the back straight. I think Alan's going to have to take his final lap to have a go at it. As now we see Lowy coming up the back stretch for the penultimate time. We will get one more lap after this one. One more lap. Zyph is having trouble. He's off the track. I'm just looking at Lowy's inputs right now. He's just lazily poking this car around. He's just done. Lowy is just chilling and bringing the car home. He is in no hurry. As he sets at 15.6, that just goes to show you that slow is smooth and smooth is fast. This will be the final lap, and once again, Lowy has just been untouched today. And that goes to show you there might be some people who are occasionally as quick as Lowy, but when Lowy's in the groove, you just cannot beat him in a race. He is just the most incredible racing driver I've ever seen in the sim virtual world. Total dominance today. While there were so many crashes and so much drama, Lowy just kept his nose out of all of it. He had absolutely no trouble. Wasn't bothered. Didn't even bat an eye. As I say that, Lowy's just drifting the car for fun now. And he's still pulling away from the rest of the pack. And I believe that is Turtle that he is now coming up to lap, but I don't know if Lowy's just going to take it easy. Zyph is having more troubles. He's off again. I think Alan is too far back from Dario now. He will not catch him. As I say that, Dario is not far off DK, so anything could happen right now, but Turtle, very gentlemanly lifts for Lowy as he comes round the section for the final time. There is, I believe that's Yellow 13. No, it's Pika Roshu currently off the track, rejoining. But again, Lowy just doesn't have to worry about it. And Lowy takes victory in the reverse grid race, and he takes the overall win for today's event in License Split. Once again, Lowy has absolutely proved his class, absolutely incredible drive. No trouble at all. I don't think he even broke a sweat. Brilliant drive from Lowy, as DK will take a well-earned second place. After a drama-filled weekend, DK manages to keep his cool and retain second. Dario ends up taking third, with Alan in fourth place. Alan will be really pleased with the result, but I bet he would have loved to have had that podium. Excuse me, I need to sneeze. Following Alan, Arbeker gets a fantastic 5th place. He'll be really happy with that. Stefan hanging on to 6th after a couple problems early on. Adrian again caught up in contact, bringing it home in 7th. Smithy 8th, Patrese 9th, and Nazim rounding up the top 10. Lantern gets a good 11th, Redshift 12th. Will with some trouble finishing 13th. Matara looked like he did a really foolish move at the hairpin about halfway through the race, wiping out Zyfe, taking 14th. Yellow 13 is in 15th. Jim in 16th after a really good race 1. Toxic just looked to be in trouble the whole race in 17th, as was Zyfe and Pikoroshu. Turtle, I'm not really sure what happened to him, but yeah, it wasn't his race. Boz had a great start to the race, battled with DK, but I think he just cooked his tyres and that was it. And Raf and Tommy DNF'd. So that is it for today. Winners for today, I believe it's going to be unconfirmed. Of course, it is dependent on stewarding and many other things. It will be Kartoska, the overall winner in the open split today. Great drive from him. And I believe it will be, well, I say I believe it will be Lowy is the overall winner from license split today. Oh, I'm so sorry, Zyfe. I saw what happened to you. That was a real shame. Anyway, that's going to be it from me. I am completely spent. I'm about to go pass out. So thank you very much for joining us. Twitch.tv/ChargedSimRacing. It's been your boy, the Flat Earth Mom, doing commentary. If you want to join us, go to discord.me/charged for a whole bunch of sim racing and more every single week. Anyway, I'm heading off. Good night, everyone. Thank you very much. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.